This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Oh, hello there. Very nice to meet you.
You know, some whack job can say this stuff and get away with it?
In a stunning development, we are going to get fantastic bank holiday weather. Can you believe that?
No.
Even listeners in Glasgow will not get their own weather this time around. It's going to be sunny there too.
What?
Yeah, but deadly wildfires are raging through Spain and Portugal in the worst wildfire season on record as in ever. Villages have been evacuated, farmers drafted in to fight the flames, huge areas of land have been destroyed, 4 times the average for this time of year. More than 1 million hectares have burned so far, with more dangerous fire and weather still to come. Homes have been reduced to ashes, forests turned black, thick smoke has blanketed cities for miles. The blazes have pumped out around 37 million tonnes of carbon dioxide. Roughly the same annual emissions as the whole of Portugal or Sweden, wherever they are. PM 2.5 particles, which can penetrate deep into the lungs, have hit record levels. And it's because of a prolonged heat wave across the Mediterranean and the Balkans and has pushed temperatures above 40 degrees centigrade. The searing heat has dried vegetation, creating tinderbox conditions that allow fires to spread faster and burn hotter. And the EU's monitoring service said Spain's wildfire emissions this year reached the highest levels in 23 years, worsened by smoke drifting in from Canada's own massive fires. We're all connected. Meanwhile, heavy monsoon rains have continued to pummel the Indian subcontinent over the past week, bringing devastating floods and landslides and leaving hundreds of people dead in what has already been one of the deadliest monsoon seasons in years. Last Friday, more than 300 people were killed after cloudbursts in which hourly rainfall exceeds 100 millimetres, struck mountainous regions of northern Pakistan and India. In one district in Pakistan, 150 millimetres was recorded in 1 hour, which, to give you some perspective, is about 20% of the entire rainfall in the UK for an average year, which they got in 1 hour. What? Experts say climate change and human land use are driving conditions for ever larger, more intense wildfires, floods and other extreme events. But don't worry, because a tax-avoiding pretend patriot in Union Jack socks has taken fortunes in donations from the fossil fuel industry, assures us there's no such thing as climate change. So that's all right then. Messages from last night. Heather in Lee says, well, Nick, I feel personally attacked. Our daughter was born on the 20th of September. Yeah, we were talking about birthdays. Can't remember why, off the top of my head. And somebody was complaining about the fact that they were born just after Christmas, which meant that for their entire life, they only got one set of presents per year. So they were considering having, like His Majesty the King, 2 birthdays. Like he hasn't got enough. Wants more presents. He's got 2 birthdays. Can you believe that? And that's what she wanted too. So she's going to switch her birthday to like the middle of summer, which is the best place to have it. Give people 6 months in order to save up to give you something lovely. Tessa texts, I've been attempting some voluntary grassland surveys for the biodiversity team at Cardiff Council in the last few weeks. I thought I was falling short. Now I know why. Because nobody knows as much about grass as the dumpster.
I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world.
Any human being anywhere in the world, he knows more about grass. But that's not the only thing he knows more about than anybody else.
I know a lot about wind. I know a lot about wind.
Yeah, I believe you. That's why Vladimir Putin was pictured holding his nose in the in that limousine that he shared that short ride with him. Yeah, I bet you do know a lot about wind, Donny. Massive amounts of experience in that regard. Marilyn in Toronto says, hi, Nick, the only... Hi. She says, hi, Nick. The only thing I heard about the ashen faces... Oh, this was when Diaper Donny went into that meeting with Vlad the Insaner, and he went in all thumbs up and grinning, and he came out looking like a deflated party balloon. Like a space opera that somebody had stuck a pin in. He says... Hi, Nick. The only thing I heard about the ashen faces was that Putin showed them a message from Trump asking for help in rigging the election, or else Putin has a copy of the Epstein files. Oh, I bet he's got a copy of more than that. I mean, just think of all the things that we know that are verifiably true about Donald Trump, things that he has admitted to himself. Can you imagine how much worse it must be, the thing that Vlad has on him? Because the man boasts about stuff that would ordinarily cast somebody in his position into the dustbin of history. Positively boasts about it, he does.
I cherish women.
Yeah, with both hands.
Touch, feel, that's what I do.
Yeah, that's what he does.
I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not.
Yeah, what's scary about that? I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. Yeah, nothing terrifying about that at all. He's going to protect you. Run. Drop everything. Don't look back, just run. We were talking about, I'm sorry about this, to bring it up again, and I don't wish to encourage anybody to talk about it further in this show. But we were discussing the six-legged monsters from space. Spiders terrify me, but I respect what they're about, says this one. They fulfill an important role, but I'd rather they fulfill it 100 metres away from me, minimum. Question coming in from next door. Six-legged, question mark. Yeah, they got 6 legs.
They got 8?
No, I think 6.
8?
Well, they've got 6 after I finish with them. This says, Nick, that'll learn them. I've got a jar of spider's legs. What's wrong with that? It says, Nick, I fully know what you mean about not computing being 65 years old. Yeah. Yeah, I just can't relate to that number at all. He says, I'm 57 and I actually can't believe I am, as my head thinks I'm 35. Yeah, 35 is about right. Yeah, I'll be in a room of people who are my age, and I'll be thinking, who are all these old codgers? Shouldn't they be in bed with a rug, or sitting in a comfortable chair with a rug over their knees? 65?
What?
That can't be possible. When am I going to grow up? That's my question. Actually, I've wondered about that. I don't feel grown up at all. I see people who are half my age and, without doing the computation and, coming to the conclusion that they are half my age, I just think, without sort of bringing it to the forefront of my mind, I just sort of clock that person and think, yeah, that's a grown up. I don't feel like a grown up. When do you start feeling like a grown up, by the way? Not that I'm complaining about it or anything.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
This says, the reason that the MAGA lot gets so angry at Gavin Newsom is that when they see his posts, he makes them see what Trump really looks like. And they can't stand it because they can't help but see how weird and incoherent he really is. And that is completely correct in every respect. The people who loved Donald Trump's all caps with exclamation marks and his, furious ranting, they think that, he's owning the libs. They love it when he does that. But when somebody else copies him in order to satirize him, they just lose their minds. I actually saw somebody on Fox News, one of those, and I'm waggling my fingers in the air to denote inverted commas, one of those news readers, one of those talk show types, saying how dreadfully childish Gavin Newsom looks when he does those all capital letters text in the manner of Trump. But these people have been supporting Donald Trump doing that for about the last 8 years. Talk about hypocritical. They're still supporting him, and he's suing them for $1 billion. $1 billion he's suing them for. $1 billion. Which is a number that is so big, I don't even know what it is. It's think of £1 million. I mean, dollars, pounds. What difference does it make? When it's up that high, it don't make no. Never mind. Think of £1 million. Think of how much money in a stack would be £1 million? I mean, I don't know what the answer to that is, so I'll make it up. I would imagine it's a cube of £10 notes about 1.5 meters high and wide and deep and crisp and even. Now, think of that times 1,000, and that's what a billion is. He's suing them for $1 billion. But I betcha, he doesn't. Taco. He's not going to sue him for $1 billion. He's just going to say that he sues him for $1 billion, and that'll shut him right up. Bring him back on side. Oh, Donny, you're so handsome and smart, and, you know, you got such a way with words.
I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words.
I'm very highly educated. Yeah. And then the thing that followed that proved that that's not true.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
This guy is sick. There's something wrong with this guy.
This text, we're still wiping up the text from last night. This one says, Donny is terrified of Vlad, and Vlad knows it. America's cartoon president can't handle real monsters. Oh, but he loves them, though. And I do believe that America's cartoon president is a real monster. It's more that he can't handle real tough guys. He pretends that he's a tough guy, but and I mean, how tough do you have to be to present yourself in public with thick pancake makeup that even Dolly Parton would think is a bit over the top while dancing to YMCA? I mean, does that sound like a tough guy to you? No, I do believe that he is absolutely a real monster.
Don't be rude.
Monster. Spence in County Antrim says, hey, Nick, some celebrities who are 65 years old include Simon Cowell, Jeremy Clarkson and Bryan Adams. You are a rose among thorns, says Spence. Well, are they really 65? I mean, Simon Cowell just looks, I don't know, he sort of looks like an alien now. Looks barely human. It looks as though, I don't know if he has had anything done, but it certainly looks as though he's had a lot done. It looks like his face is so stretched he can't blink. Like he's got a permanent smile on because if he frowned, his skin would split the back of his head and his face would fall off. No offence. And as for Jeremy Clarkson, what has that man done to himself? I mean, you'd have to have really been caning it your entire life to look that bad at 65 years old. If on his farm he stands still too long, somebody might try and milk him. But to be in the same company as Bryan Adams, if he's 65 years old, well, I'm pretty happy with that.
Rock and roll!
Looking great, Bryan. Sounding even better. Somerset. Hello, John.
Oh, hello, Nick. How are you?
I am great, mate.
Birthday plus 1 day.
Yeah, that's right. It's a very happy unbirthday to me.
And I thought I'd give you the latest update from number 65, The Hut.
Oh, right. Okay, so to fill people in, you are staying in one of them Airbnb type efforts.
Yeah.
And you thought you were staying in a house, but you're actually staying in the shed in the in the garden.
Yeah.
Go on.
I found myself confined to the shed, or the hut, as the owner calls it. And after you booted me off the show last night, you said that I'm in the shed with the tools.
Yeah, you're with David Cameron in the shed where they keep the tools.
I think this is nonsense.
Yeah.
So anyway, today things didn't get much better. I did go and play my chess tournament today and won one game and drew one game, so that was good. But when I first when I was going around this morning, picking up my socks and stuff, there's cobwebs in here everywhere.
Yeah. Ooh.
Right, there's cobwebs in here everywhere. Anyway, when I got back this evening from being out all day, and I walked in here and I thought, I wonder if there's fresh new linen on the bed. like,
Yeah,
fresh
you'll be lucky if there's a tarpaulin on the bed.
I don't think anyone knows I'm here. I think it's some kind of practical joke. I'll be found in April. And to make matters worse, like I said, the door's the wrong way round. And
What do you mean? What do you mean by the door is the wrong way round? What does that mean?
Well, because what he's done, he's obviously built this around a sort of shed or whatever, and the door. Well, as I'm looking now at the inside of the door, and it's got a number 65 on it and a letterbox.
Oh, right, and the letterbox goes from the inside to the outside.
That's right, yeah. And I keep thinking, like, when I arrive here tomorrow, we'll have to play in chess or whatever, I'm going to have an eviction notice and some council tax bills.
Yeah, but it'll be on the wrong side of the door, so you won't be able to see it.
Or I'll walk in through the door, there'll be a bailiff in here waiting for me. So things are not great. But anyway, apart from that, I am actually enjoying staying here because there's no neighbours either side.
Right.
It gives me an impression that I'm, going through space in a tin can. Or something like that. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, I told Aaron, and this is why I was keen to get on before anyone else said it.
Yeah.
Have you heard in the news about this woman, this dreadful person that was last summer exhorting people on her Facebook page to burn down asylum centres?
Are you kidding? Have I heard of her?
You've heard of her, but have you heard what she's been saying?
Enlighten me.
Well, she's just been released early for good behaviour because apparently exhorting people to commit arson is, gives you you get a medal for that these days. But anyway, so they let her out after she's done a little bit of time or whatever, and she's trying to sue the police because she said that they're spreading misinformation about her. And I was thinking, what is the misinformation? She's saying that they've said she doesn't like foreigners.
Right. Well, I don't know whether that's true one way or the other, but I think that perhaps she complains too much. I mean, the woman confessed, she pleaded guilty. What more need be said about it?
Exactly. I think she should ring that guy that's on before you and get some free legal advice.
Yeah. Okay. I'll alert him to an incoming call for next week.
But I had more to say as well about mice, and I keep mentioning this week after week. I'm going to tell the story, if you will, bear with me. Because it's better than talking about people, because I know you've met people and you're not that keen.
No, I'm not keen. I've met enough people to know that I'm not really very keen on them, no.
Right, so I live in a flat in Taunton, and I got it as part of a flat swap, right? And the day I went to see the flat, this was about 2 years ago, the previous tenant showed me round, and at one stage, I literally only got up the first flight of stairs, and there was a door, and at the bottom of the door there was like a towel, and stopping a draft, I thought, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, what's in there? And she said, oh, there's a mouse in there. And my reaction was immediately to say, well, nothing like coming home to a full mouse trap. And she then proceeded to she just ignored what I said and then carried on, showing me around.
Yeah.
Anyway, I decided to take on the flat. I wasn't too bothered about the mouse. I thought maybe she just invented it or imagined it or whatever. Anyway, about 6 weeks ago, I saw a mouse in my kitchen.
Where? There on the stair. Sing!
Right there.
A little mouse
a little house with clogs on.
Yeah. There I declare, going
clippity clop on the stair. But actually, it saw me, and it realised that I wasn't going to give it any of my brie, and it went darting underneath the washing machine. Right,
they're so fast, those things, and they disappear in holes and under little crevices that you think there's no way it can get in there, and then it's just gone.
It was incredible. Now the thing was, I was so refreshed that the following day I thought I'd imagined it, and I thought maybe it was a bulimic spider. But anyway, I accidentally let slip to a gas engineer that had come to my place, because, long story short, anyway, he then snitched on me. Long story
short? I don't think so. Been too late for that.
I was stretched out a little bit. But he snitched on me that I had a mouse there and decided to help me, even though I didn't want any help.
Right.
The next minute, these guys came round and inspected the loft and they found some droppings.
Uh-oh.
And I thought, I don't want to even go up in that loft, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they said, look, well, we'll send someone round to get in. And this guy turned up, right, about a week later. I kid you not. I told him I was stuck in traffic, which was true. And about 2 hours later, because he told me he was outside my front door, when I got home, about 2 hours later, he was still there outside my front door.
Wow.
With a great big rent-a-kill sign and buckets of poison, so all my neighbours could see that I had vermin.
Yeah.
So I allowed him in. The strange thing about it was he looked like a rat.
Oh.
Or a mouse.
You're talking about the rent-a-kill man?
Yeah, the guy that came in with the bait and all of that.
And
I
he
felt like saying to him,
looked like a rat.
He looked like a rat. It's like when dogs look like their owners or the other way around. So this guy had spent so much time, baiting and trapping mice and rats.
He'd actually taken on their characteristics.
He'd actually taken on the characteristics, right? And I felt like saying to him, you shouldn't be handling that. But he was obsessed as well. He spent about an hour and a half, because I'd made the mistake of saying to him, have you ever seen a big rat? An hour and a half later, he was telling me about people that have rats in their kitchen and they don't know what to do.
Yeah, okay. All right. An hour and a half is what I think that story took to tell. Good grief. Thanks a lot, John. As soon as anything else develops, I want you to call somebody else straight away, all right? We were also talking about loos last night and how awful it is that hotel rooms have the toilet, the bathroom coming off the bedroom, which doesn't give you any kind of privacy at all, because, whoever you're in that hotel room with, they know why you're going in there.
Disgusting.
And they can hear everything that happens in that room. There should be some sort of antechamber between the bedroom and the bathroom. But there isn't, is there? Very, very embarrassing. That is actually what we were talking about last night on LBC. At the time, it was the only thing that's on LBC. This says, in Korea, some public toilets have etiquette bells that you press and they play music, a sort of white noise to mask the sound. Wow, that sounds great. And Mike says, for the soundtrack for a toilet, AC/DC's Thunderstruck. Let's see now. Croydon. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello, Nick. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Perfect, mate. How's your day going, first of all?
Yeah, pretty good. It would be better if you turn the radio off.
Oh, sorry about that, man. I just want to listen, you know what I mean?
Take your time.
Yeah, sorry, mate. So, my first debate is basically the whole general idea is about how society is making the new generation very weak.
In what way?
In what way? So
you've still got the radio on.
Pardon?
You still have the radio on.
Yeah, no, it's off now.
Go ahead.
So one of my points is, in a race or any competition in life, people are getting medals for last place.
No.
No?
When does anybody get a medal for last place? Name me one instance that has ever happened in the entire history of humankind.
Perfect. Let me give you an example. Last week I was at my little brother's race in primary school.
Mm-hmm.
We did an egg and spoon race. He turned out last. He even fell on his face and he got a medal. Explain that to me, Nick.
Well, it's children in primary school.
No, Nick. You need to build them from young. You need to build them strong and elegant. Now these guys are making weak, and now they're saying failure is good. It's not good. It needs to be.
Well, that is a good point. He should have got a damn good thrashing. That'll teach him.
Not a thrashing, but at least like a you know what I mean?
A stern talking to.
Exactly, Nick.
Leave him outside in the rain for an hour.
Facts. Well, another point of mine, if you don't mind.
And another thing.
Another thing is cancel culture. Nowadays, people are just getting cancelled for no reason.
Right. What, you mean like almost in mid-sentence they get cut off? Yeah, like that. Thanks a lot, Mohammed.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Excuse me?
Excuse me? And what about excuse you? Excuse me. Ocean in Wales, or Ocean, don't know. Says it's remarkable how differently we hold politicians to account depending on where they fall on the political spectrum. Just imagine, for instance, if Joe Biden were facing the same kind of allegations and associations that others have been linked with regarding Jeffrey Epstein. There would be outrage in every corner of the media and public discourse, yet when it suits prevailing narratives, we see a striking double standard at play. What would be deemed utterly unacceptable on one side of the aisle is excused, minimised, or even ignored on the other.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes, Don, I'm still talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Stunning Daily Mail on Sunday exclusive about that picture with Prince Andy and what's her name? I think it's on their online site at the moment, but it'll probably be all over the front page of the Daily Mail tomorrow. Very interesting. Here is East Yorkshire. Hello, Mike.
Hi, mate.
Yes,
How
Mike.
are you?
I am super. Thanks for asking.
Have you sold your car yet?
Have I sold my car yet? No, I haven't, no.
Okay. A couple of bits on Trump. Have you seen Trump's latest interview on why he hired John Bolton?
No.
Right, it's worth watching. It's 90 seconds. Somebody asked him, why did he, given what's happening to John Bolton, why did he hire him?
Right.
10-second summary is, I needed an attack dog. He frightened other leaders. And when he was of no further use to me, I binned him.
Wow. Well, that is Donald Trump all over. Everybody that that swirls around his orbit is eventually chucked under a bus.
But the 90 seconds, it's really worth listening to if your glamorous assistant could pull that out. It's stunning the way he explains it all.
Yeah.
He's totally self-serving in a hat that says Donald Trump gets everything right all the time.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's just so ridiculous. He's the world's most powerful man, and he goes around wearing a hat that a 5-year-old would be embarrassed to don.
But the other one, I had a horrible thought today, and you and I discussed possible compromise on Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And I thought today, well, what if there is no compromise? Because if there's compromise, he's getting pushed around in a way he doesn't want, behaving around Ukraine in a way he doesn't want. But just think, if there's no compromise, if he actually loves Putin, loves the way Putin rules, loves the way Russia is managed and organised, that's even more frightening. I hope to hell there's some compromise.
Yeah, I want to see it. I probably don't want to see it because the things that we know about Donald Trump, the things that we know that he's done, is pretty unpalatable as it is. But if whatever the Putin has on him, assuming that is the case, then can you imagine how appalling it is? I mean, it would almost certainly be out with the rules of the Online Harm Act that has just come in this country. That would be banned straight away, whatever it is. Can't see that.
Well, if you start thinking, what could turn all the dinglings off?
Yeah.
Look at it that way.
Right.
That is gruesome.
Mm-hmm. It is. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But I just hope there is, because if he genuinely loves Putin, loves what's happening in Russia and wants to do that in America, that is worse.
Well, I think it could possibly be both. I mean, Putin might have something on him, but it seems incontrovertible that Donald Trump is in awe of Vladimir Putin or any dictator or wannabe dictator. He just loves them. You know, Kim Jong-un, he just goes all jelly-like and giggly like a girl. Like a... Did I just say like a girl? What? I meant a little girl. You know, like who meets a pop idol for the first time. That's what I meant.
Well, yeah, and all this blogging about so-called peace treaties around the world. Well, he went to see Kim Jong-un, and think about it. North Korea and South Korea are still at war. There's just a ceasefire.
He keeps going on about how Vladimir Putin would never have invaded Ukraine if he was the president. But since he has become president, Vladimir Putin has attacked Ukraine at double the rate he did before he became president.
Well, he did, but as I say, that North Korea and South Korea have not yet got a peace agreement. Well, he went to see his man. Why didn't he sort a peace agreement out while he was nattering to his little South Asian mate? But there isn't. There's only a ceasefire. Is what's happening between North Korea and South Korea. Why didn't he start that? He's a genius at creating peace agreements.
He says things, and then after a while, I don't know, his brain must think, well, that fantastical lie that I've just told isn't big enough, so I'll add to it. Because for a while there, he was saying that he stopped 6 wars. And then in the Oval Office, when he I think it was probably yesterday, when he showed up without a tie, which is very, very strange, and Guy Liner Vance showed up without a tie as well. In fact, nobody behind the desk, all those supplicants that surround him, had a tie on, like a memo had gone round. When have you ever seen Donald Trump without a tie in the Oval Office? Never. So it's like he was sending out some sort of secret message, release the hounds, something like that. And he was saying, I forgot what my point was now. What were we talking about? I sidetracked myself. Huh?
Peace treaties.
Oh, yeah, peace treaties. He said, I've stopped 6 wars. And then in that meeting, Tylus, he said, actually, it was 7, giving no indication as to what the extra added one that he's just come up with was. And then he said, and if you think about it, I stopped 3 wars before they even started. So he's pre-stopping wars now.
But one last thing, if you'll bear with me, Nick. We're talking about hair, and I do not wear a toupee.
Yeah.
Have you not seen the video when he was on the plane with Vance and various others? And there was a video of him with no hair.
Yeah, I haven't seen the video, but I've seen the still image. He's sitting next to Elon Musk. And I don't know, maybe he wasn't prepared for that photograph, but Elon Musk Musk took a selfie of him with Trump sitting next to him, and you could see his scalp.
It's out there. It's evidence.
Yeah.
Mind you, with fake news and alternative, bloody whatever he talked about. How relevant are facts anymore?
They're not relevant at all. Nobody believes in facts anymore. Get with the programme, Mike. All right, thanks a lot, mate. Ta-ra. 0345 6060 973. Gillian York says, good evening, Nick. Some people have been asking why the flags that these people are putting up on lampposts are flying at half-mast. My best guess is either their ladders are too short or their beer bellies prevented them from climbing any higher. Yeah, that is disrespectful to our flag, putting it at half-mast, crying out loud. Show some patriotism. Get to the top of that lamppost. You love your country so much. Andrew in Stroud says, is it true that rumours circulated that Putin sent a body double to that Alaskan meeting, hence Trump's discombobulation? Yes, it is true that rumours have circulated to that effect. And that would certainly explain the look on Trump's face and all of the people that Trump surrounded himself with when they came out of that meeting. They looked like they'd just been shown the moment of their own death on video. His forthcoming attractions. They all look like they'd had the air taken out of them. And that would explain it. That they went in there and who they thought was Vladimir Putin took his face off. Surprise! I mean, if you were Vladimir Putin and you had so many enemies, all of these people that have died at his hands, then you probably wouldn't want to leave the security of your own various palaces either, would you? Kind of surprising that he would get on a plane to go anywhere else. So, yeah, it's not beyond the realms of possibilities. And even if it's not true, that doesn't prevent it from being a fact. Let's see now. Who's been waiting the longest? Merthyr Tydfil. Hello, Jeff.
Oh, Nick.
There you
are. Ocean. O-S-I-A-N is pronounced Ocean.
Ocean. Right. Got it.
Okay. Got it. Right. What was the other thing you picked up? Well, the one thing I was going to pick up about Trump in the Anchorage meeting, you had just been talking about it being a double, right? If you look at the guy who walked with him,
with
right,
who?
So, with Trump down the red carpet, where Trump was ambling all over the place,
weaving around like a drunk.
But if you looked, he was swinging his right arm.
Yeah.
Which everyone I've had a look at, he doesn't swing. Putin does not swing his right arm.
Yes. Now,
that guy was.
Yeah, I wonder whether it's either Putin carries his own firearm and it sort of restricts his movement, or there is some sort of medical issue that he has that has the same effect. I don't know.
Well, anyway, did you notice that when Trump and him were having some sort of modicum of a press thing, all the press was shouting, Putin was making gesticulations, his face was all sort of mobile, he was making facial expressions.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? It was something very strange.
Something a bit odd. Yeah, something a bit off. It looked like he was wearing a mask, is what it looked like to me. He looked as though he'd had maybe some sort of cosmetic procedure to stretch his face a little bit and pump up his cheekbones. Because his cheekbones seemed a little higher and more prominent than on the real Vladimir Putin, wherever he was at the time.
Something strange is going on.
It did look odd, come to think of it, yes.
And I got to say that the LBC American correspondent,
Simon Marks,
was brilliant when he was talking about the grass issue, where Trump knows more about grass
than anybody
else in the world.
And anybody else in the world, he knows more about grass,
because he grows it on his golf courses.
Yeah, most of the time it sounds like he's been smoking it.
You got it. Well, there are two types, then. Well, the green stuff that grows on golf courses.
No, I mean, most of the time he sounds like he's been smoking the stuff that grows on golf courses.
I'm concerned at this point in time about his sanity.
It's taking you this long?
Well, things are moving along quite merrily, but is he going to get? Is he going to get statemented? I'm just wondering.
Right? Is it going to get better? At this point, I'm guessing no.
Well, when your American correspondent played "Whispering Grass," remember that song, "Which the trees don't need to know" and all that.
When did he do this?
Sometime the day before yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And it was really funny. Oh. It was really amusing because you don't normally get from your American correspondent some sort of attempt at humour. But I thought he was brilliant because he said that grass has a life.
Yes, that's right.
And I'm just curious as to what sort of life grass has.
It gets born, it lives a full and productive life, and then it dies. And curiously, is buried right where it sits.
Well, the thing is, how can you possibly, when this Ghislaine Maxwell says that he never did anything and all the rest of it, can you believe anything?
No.
Anything that is taking place today?
No. Here's a woman who looks to be possibly spending the rest of her life in jail, but for the decision of one man. Only one man on earth can make the decision to release her, and it is her sworn testimony that that one man had did absolutely nothing wrong in any way, shape, or form ever. Yeah, I believe her. All right, good talking to you, Jeff. Thanks for that.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
I'm taking you off the air. I think you're having a breakdown.
Is that what this is? It says, happy belated birthday, Nick. After manhandling the FIFA trophy, did you see that Donald rifled through a couple of desk drawers to find a 5x7 glossy print that Vlad had sent the two of them in Alaska? He said that it was just a picture from someone who wants to be here very badly, that he plans to sign the photo for that person, and that person is a man named Vladimir Putin. I wonder if Vlad is offended that his picture's in the drawer and not on the desk with all the other framed pictures. Well, I'm just surprised that Donald Trump doesn't have a poster of Vladimir Putin on his wall that's got bright orange face makeup smeared all over it. It puckers up his kissy lips at it, in moments when Melania's got a headache. Your husband is feeling lonely, Melania.
I don't care.
She's not that bothered. Tavistock. Hello, Rose.
Oh, hello, Nick. You're just sort of vomiting me, as it were.
Oh.
I've rung in with a rather random one again, I'm afraid, from... I'm a bit on tenterhooks about my motorbike.
Your motorbike? What kind of a bike is it?
Well, it's a little Honda Cub 90, and strangely enough, it was... Well, I got him in 1988.
Him?
I thought about... Well, this is part of my little story. Yes, I always call him him. And, well, actually, so does my wonderful mechanic in the bike shop. Yeah.
Right.
It's like that. He'll do this, this sort of thing. 1988 was the year you said last night you started at Radio Luxembourg, wasn't it?
Was it? I have no idea. My knowledge of history is not that great, but if you say so, 1988. Okay, that sounds about
right.
You
said 1988 because I thought,
But if I said that, I was just reading it that somebody else had told me that that's what the year was. If my life depended on it, I wouldn't be able to tell you that is accurate or not. But it sounds about right.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, actually, my bike was born 2 years earlier, but he must have been in warehouses because I bought him brand new.
Huh.
And this is the thing. He has had a replacement exhaust before, but now this one's rusted up so much. You see, I haven't got a garage or a shed. It's a wonderful, marvellous, efficient cover, but it's not the same. And it's rusted up and it needs a new one. And this story does get a bit more interesting than this. And I suppose...
I'll look forward to that. Yes.
And I said, are we sure we can get one?
Now, when you say him, are you having a conversation with the bike or the mechanic?
No. The mechanic, yeah.
Right.
He's absolutely marvellous. He's the most terrific bloke. Yeah,
right.
He's only a little bit younger than me. And anyway, so he said, I'm 99.9% sure we can get it because, you see, they don't make them anymore.
Right.
And this is the thing, Nick. I can't ride another one. I've been riding this, well, as you can see, since 1988.
Yeah.
And it's very simple, and it's absolutely lovely. It's a collector's item.
Is it?
Yeah, yes. And I was so demoralised when I lost my rural rented place 3 years ago that I lost confidence on the riding. And the lovely bike shop man, he said, with such a lovely turn of phrase, he said, oh, no, you can't lose confidence. He said, a seasoned rider such as yourself. So I keep repeating that. Isn't that a lovely turn of phrase?
Well,
I keep repeating that to
nicer than
myself.
saying an old rider. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But oddly, today, I heard that grand pianos, they take hours and hours to service every year. They have to have a huge 8-hour service. And they are often talked of in the same way as I talk about my bike. They have 15,000 parts, apparently.
How many miles per gallon do you get on a grand piano?
And they're referred to as she or he, just like I do my bike.
Really? I've never heard of anybody.
I've
never heard of anybody refer to a piano as a he or a she.
Well, this is the one in one of the concert halls, actually. It's called The Old Lady.
Right.
And she was born in Hungary, I think they said. Just like I'd been talking about my bike. Wasn't it odd?
So you're going to try to get like a second-hand part, presumably. So, I know that old cars have, there'll be not warehouses, but, like yards where old cars go to rust, but they peel off bits of them to send in the post to people who've got a car that isn't made anymore.
That might be a way forward. I think they have a store of them, of the actual Honda exhaust pipes.
Wow.
And he believes, he's pretty certain that there is one that, a size that fits my bike, despite its age. But I know I'm making a thing about it, but I simply can't bear to lose it, Nick. I can't bear to lose it. I can't.
Well, I recommend you don't
lose it. No,
yeah.
Somehow one will be found. One hopes, yes.
Now, how noisy a bike is it? You're not one of those people that wakes up the neighbours when you come home late at night, are you?
No, I'll tell you what. This is the phrase in the trade. It sounds like a sewing machine.
Oh.
And when this terrific guy, I won't give the name, but we're so lucky with them. They're up Gunny's Lake area. When he'd virtually rebuilt the engine. I was going up a hill and I stalled, and this builder came out of it and helped me, because I couldn't, I was on this steep hill, so I couldn't kick-start it again and hold it as well. And because I'd been running it in, you see, not doing it too fast up the hill.
Right.
And anyway, he held on to me, this builder, while I started the bike. And he said, "Oh, it's great." He said, "No wonder it's been rebuilt." He said, "It sounds like a sewing machine."
Huh.
So, no, it's not very loud. It isn't.
Right.
But, you see, no other biker ever says to me, "Oh, you're still riding at your age," because they just don't. They accept you, and they, a lot of them are sort of older than me, the other bikers.
Yeah.
But
well, why should you? No, ordinary people. You don't want to fraternise with ordinary people, Rose. Life's too short.
I know, but when I came here and I wasn't out in the country all by myself anymore, I thought, I'm sitting on this motorbike, I'm this age, people are going to think, "Oh, what's she doing on a motorbike?" And it all changed.
No.
And when I got these looks, "Oh, you're still riding," and I think, I feel like saying to them, "Well, why not?" "Oh, I see, you mean the lines on my face, do you?"
I just think it's an unusual thing for a woman to be riding a motorbike. It's not something that you see a lot. So maybe it's that they're reacting to, not your age.
Oh, yeah, that's possible, I guess, isn't it? Funnily enough, the girl over the road is a big biker. I mean...
How big is she, approximately?
Well, she's rather terrific, actually, because I'm very slight. And I got her to help me with something once. I said, "I need somebody staunchly standing here." And she's an absolutely super-looking girl, really. She's well built in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Not overweight.
I'm not sure I'd be very pleased if somebody said that they wanted me because I was staunch.
Oh, well, I wasn't... Oh, God, no, I hope she didn't think I meant... I wasn't meaning she was staunch. I just meant I wanted somebody standing there in a staunch manner.
In a staunch manner? Yeah, well, you should have been clearer. I'm going to look up staunch on the World Wide Web and see what comes up. Hang on a minute.
Oh, you're trying to upset me again, aren't you? You do this all the flipping time.
Of strong or firm construction. Well, that works.
Yeah, she is, actually, but I wouldn't have said that to her, Yeah.
Well, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best with your exhaust, and I hope it all works out.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thank you very much. Yes.
Well,
it's a long time I've had it, isn't it? You see, it's been with me all this time, and I don't drive. You see.
Yes.
I don't drive.
Well, my old car. It's been a long time with me, and I'm the absolute opposite of you. I can't wait to get rid of it. It's taking up a massive amount of room in my garage. I can't fit anything else in there. But I'll try and try again. Thanks a lot, Rose. Jack in Hales Owen says, I heard Trump the other week claiming that in the last 3 months, no illegal immigrants had crossed the border from Mexico into the US. My question is, how would he know? Well, he probably knows because nobody knows more about numbers than him. Yeah, I've heard that claim as well. How could he possibly know? Yeah, he don't know. 0345 6060 973. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
on your radio, on the LBC app, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC. This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Wondering what it's all about, and I can't tell you because I don't know myself.
Grammy award-winning musician Jack White said that the US President Donald Trump is masquerading as a human being and branded his administration as petty and thin-skinned in response to the White House calling him a has-been loser. And in that category, he'll find himself with people like Bruce Springsteen and Rihanna and Taylor Swift and Madonna and Meryl Streep and Snoop Dogg. They should start a supergroup and call themselves the Has-Been Losers.
Rock and roll!
In fact, that is a brilliant idea. I don't care what they release, I'm buying it. Trump's other Has-Been Losers could help out. Stephen King could write their publicity, Anna Wintour could be their stylist, Meryl Streep, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Robert De Niro could act in their videos. Michael Moore could make a documentary about it. It's money in the bank. Pretty weird that Donald Trump doesn't like Snoopy Dog, though, because they've got such a lot in common.
I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world.
Yeah, except Snoop. My bet is he knows more about grass than you do. Jack White is out of the White Stripes, by the way. And that band has sold over 7 million albums, which is pretty good going for losers. And he shared a post online on Wednesday claiming that Trump is masquerading as a Christian and a leader and masquerading as a person with actual empathy. And this was in answer to the White House Communications Director, Stephen Chung, who broke into his busy schedule of trying to make people believe that whatever tumbles out of Diaper Don's mouth makes sense, to put out a statement to The Independent that Jack White was masquerading as a real artist. And that was after Jack White took aim at Donald Trump's disgusting and vulgar, his words, gold-themed office, Oval Office redecoration, which is visible over Trump's hairpiece whenever he's bloviating on about how much he won the election by that he lost and how huge and tremendous he is and how people keep coming up to him and calling him sir. And fact fans, Jack White is right.
Oh, shut up!
The scrolls and trims and embellishments that Trump's got glued to the walls of the Oval Office look like they were peeled off a box of Christmas crackers. I mean, to say they're gaudy and cheap would be an understatement. He's turned the office of the President of the United States of America into something that Idi Amin would call tacky. And so far, so predictable. Somebody says something about, that is something true about Tiny Hand's thin skin, and he blows up like a balloon, like an orange balloon. If he stands still long enough, some kid will start using him as a space hopper. So Jack White, out of the White Stripes, replied to the White House calling Trump an orange grifter who is a danger to the world, which is also true.
Don't talk to me that way. I'm the President of the United States. Don't ever talk to the President that way.
He wrote, masquerading as a real artist, thank you for giving me my tombstone engraving. That orange grifter has spent more taxpayer money cheating at golf than helping anyone in the country improve anything. Which, correctamundo. He also pointed out that if he received an angry response for merely calling out the decor in the Oval Office, then that was a bit much. He said, how funny that it wasn't me calling out Trump's blatant fascist manipulation of the government, the Gestapo ICE tactics, his racist remarks about Latinos and Native Americans, his ignorance of the dying children in Sudan, Gaza and the Democratic Republic of Congo, and his lack of empathy for military veterans and those struggling with poverty. No, it wasn't me calling any of that out. It was the bleeping decor of the Oval Office remarks I made that got them to respond with insults. How petty and thin-skinned could this administration get? Well, I think all of the world's supply of petty that exists at this moment on Earth. He's got all of it. And Jack White said, so MAGA folk, enjoy your paving over of your rose garden, your $200 million ballroom in the White House and your gaudy-ass gold spray-painted trinkets from Home Depot, because he ain't spending any money on helping you. unless you fit into his white supremacist country club rich idiot agenda. It's funny because it's true. And the office of the President of the United States of America then engaged in a back and forth about interior decoration with a rock star. This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. The world's most powerful human has the emotional range of a spoiled 2-year-old. And the back and forth slanging match started when Jack White, out of the white stripes, posted a picture of the world's most gaudy office, saying, look at how disgusting Trump has transformed the historic White House. He says it's now a vulgar, gold-leafed and gaudy professional wrestler's dressing room. Yeah. Can't wait for the Ultimate Fighting Championship match on the front lawn too. He's almost fully achieved the movie Idiocracy. Have I not been saying that for the past 7 years? Ever since he became the President of the United States of America.
I'm president. Can you believe it?
Idiocracy used to be a comedy about a future in which the human race has bred itself stupid, and America has a moron as a president who mandates that all crops be watered with an energy drink because it's got electrolytes. Well, we're here. This is it. It's happened. You don't have to see the film. You're living it.
Oh, fabulous.
And Jack White said of the Taco-Rama in the Oval Office, he said, look at his disgusting taste. Would you even buy a used car from this con man, let alone give him the nuclear codes? A gold-plated Trump Bible would look perfect up on that mantle with a pair of Trump shoes on either side of it, wouldn't it? What an embarrassment to American history. What do you think about that, you washed-up actor Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Correct.
And the White House representative Chung's full response read, and I quote, Jack White is a washed-up has-been loser posting drivel on social media because he clearly has ample time on his hands due to a stalled career. It's apparent he's been masquerading as a real artist because he fails to appreciate and quite frankly disrespects the splendour and significance of the Oval Office inside of the People's House. And that was an apologist for Adolf Hitler, who apparently has enough time on his hands to engage in a Twitter spat with a rock star. Can we assume that this is the low point? Shall we guess that this is as low as the human race can go?
No.
No. There's unplumbed depths that Fibonacci will plunge us into just as soon as he finds the time between cheating at golf and picking fights with celebrities who have more guts than apparently all of the law firms and the trillion-dollar companies and the media organizations and the billionaire tech bros and all the other countries in the world that have prostrated themselves before this painted clown off the telly and poured money into his pockets and told him what big hands he's got. So thank you, Jack White, and Bruce Springsteen, and Rihanna, and Taylor Swift, and Madonna. Thank you for the music, the songs we're singing. And oh, by the way, Snoop Dogg.
Want to score some pot?
0345 6060 973 Royal Wootton Bassett. Rihanna.
Nick, how are you?
I am super. Thanks for asking.
You feeling birthday hangovers?
No. Hangovers? No. I don't drink on a show day.
No, but you know, like feeling a bit glum now you're like into the next year.
No, not at all. Same.
Well, that's
it's
good.
Just the same. It's just another day, that's all.
I felt we left on a bit of a sour note last night, so I thought I would call and just say...
Who did?
Me and you. I insulted you by saying you don't want to get bitten by a spider.
Oh, we had a conversation last night.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, you're 65, right?
Yeah.
So there was...
That still sounds weird. I mean, my initial instinct is to say no, but yeah.
Mate, you're as young as you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone feels like they're still their favourite age.
Yes.
But there was a lady, Ethel, who turned 116 this week.
Wow.
So if you live as long as that, you've got another 50 years to go.
Oh. I'm not sure about that.
You could be on your show. Like, how long have you had this show?
I have no idea. Well, actually,
time.
I do. It's about an hour and 12 minutes.
But, like, you could be like the Trump of... You're not a DJ. Well, you're a radio host. What do you write when you go through the airport and you've got the little ticket thing? You know, you have to say occupation.
Do you? It's such a long time since I had a holiday. I've got no idea. You have to write your occupation on a ticket when you go through the airport.
Yes. And if you get, like, car insurance. But did you say you don't have a car?
No, I do have a car. I have a car that I'm trying to get rid of, and a car that is getting into its old age. It's got 102,000 miles on the clock.
Oh, mate, I'm impressed, but I've got a Volvo that's got 189,000 miles on the clock.
Wow, that's great.
I know, but I met a man who can fix Volvos, so it's fantastic.
Mind you, I wouldn't want to be behind you in traffic because old cars do spew out a lot of noxious fumes. Yeah.
I do actually, I do feel bad about that. The stinky diesel, it's not cool.
Oh right.
What was I just thinking about? I just had a thought. Oh yeah, if you were going to live for another 50 years. Oh yeah, so if you continue this show, are you going to be like the Donald Trump of the radio host show, where you just, no one can ever get rid of you?
Oh, they can get rid of me anytime they like. But whether I'll just go forever, I don't know. I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to give this show up. Why would anybody want to stop doing this?
Yeah, good point. It's pretty sweet gig. No music though. Do you ever wish you could play tunes?
No, not really. No, I mean it's much easier, of course, when you play tunes, because if you distill a music show into, they used to call them Snoop tapes. I don't know whether they still do that or not, but it used to be that the boss of a radio station, of a music station, would want to listen to a show, but he wouldn't want to have to sit there for the entire period. So they have a tape that goes on when you put your mic up. And so in a 3-hour show, it might take 10, 15 minutes to actually listen to all the things that the person said, which gives you an idea of what is actually involved in presenting a music show. Not much.
No, but people are texting in live.
People are texting in live? What's that got to do with it?
Yeah, like if you're on a radio show, like a music radio show, people are normally messaging in the host and stuff.
No, you're not listening. No, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying if a boss wants to listen to a show, because they want to keep across what's happening, then they'd either have to listen to it live, which takes 3 hours, or they could tape just the bits of the person talking, which in a 3-hour show is about 10 or 15 minutes, which gives you an idea of what is involved in presenting a 3-hour show. Not a lot.
Yeah, right. You're like the marathon runner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I hadn't really thought of it like that before. That's a very good point.
But if I was playing music, then it's great to, you can just hide behind it. You put your feet up and, scroll through Twitter and order shoes online, and you know end of things you can do when you're playing music. But, I have to be present and on all the time. Not that I'm complaining or anything.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
You're a tuned athlete. Hey, do you know what the biggest grass in the world is?
Pampas.
No. It gets to 45 metres tall.
Wow. Is bamboo a grass?
Bamboo is a grass.
Yeah, right.
Got it.
Yeah.
I bet you Donald Trump doesn't know that, though.
That's absolute nonsense. Nobody knows more about grass than Donald Trump.
I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world, yeah.
Yeah, he knows he sounds ridiculous. He loves it.
I don't think he does. I think that his brain appears to be so scrambled that he actually believes anything that comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, because he has been put in a position where he thinks he's like a godlike figure.
Yes, because people around him treat him that way. He's never heard the word no.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that he has some Shakespearean demise, like choking on a McDonald's chip.
I don't think that's going to happen. If you believe in this kind of thing, I would imagine that he has made a deal with the devil. He's never going to die.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I try not to think about it too much.
Yeah, best. That is the best policy. Yeah, just don't think about it very much.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing you can do now.
Just occupy your things with, the delights in life, flora and fauna. Just go outside and walk in a park for a while. Take your mind off it.
I will do. Thanks, Dick.
OK, excellent work. Thanks a lot, Rihanna. 0345 6060 973. Jack in Hales Owen said, I heard Trump the other week claiming that in the last 3 months, and I read that one. How would he know that no illegal immigrants had crossed the border from Mexico to the US? Yeah, how would he know? And he made a big song and a dance about painting that huge, beautiful wall, which isn't a wall, it's a fence. He's going to paint it black because, that will repel the people, and it goes very, very high in the sky and very, very deep down in the ground. Of course, it doesn't cover the entire border between America and Mexico, so they can still just go around. But apart from that, there's no way of getting through a wall.
If there's a concrete wall in front of you, go through it, go over it, go around it, but get to the other side of that wall.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Shut up.
I can't. That does remind me, by the way, that I do a podcast with Carol McGiffin.
Yeah.
Because that's who that was. It's a delight. If you really do want to, have a little mental holiday from all of this mayhem that's swirling around us, then it'll be right up your alley because it'll take your mind right off it. It's a hoot and a half. I think you'll love it. It's called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, in which the kooky Carol McGiffin and I try to solve people's problems while laughing our faces off. If you have a problem that you would like us to deal with, then you must simply send it to the following address: nickandcarol@global.com. nickandcarol@global.com, and prepare to be totally satisfied.
Oh, right, yeah.
Ask for it by name on an internet near you. What's your problem with Nick and Carol? Merseyside. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Nick.
Sarah.
Nick. Well, a couple of things. You were saying about the tangerine one, and the fact that he's so thin-skinned. I mean, let's be honest. He does behave like a cross between Henry VIII and...
yes.
The gangsters.
The Sopranos?
Absolutely. The Sopranos, definitely.
That'll do, yeah.
Or Boardwalk Empire, Capone, take your pick of any of the gangsters you fancy. And to be perfectly honest, when he says about the immigrants coming over the wall into America, has he checked Americans going the other way into Mexico and Canada?
Yes. Yeah.
Let's be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Would you really want to stick in America if you were sane? You'd be going, I want to get out. Let me out.
I wouldn't even want to take a holiday in America now. In fact, if I won a holiday, I'd give it away.
What? I've got relatives over there and they're begging to come home. They're going, please, we want to come home. Well, why did you go? Well, it's called the land of opportunity, but it's gone the opposite way now. Which brings me on to his ambassador to the Palace of Westminster, who's been causing trouble today, especially where I live. And normally, when him and his cronies get together up in Liverpool, we usually don't let them out of Lime Street. Unfortunately, the police decided to say, we've got to let them out. And we go, why? They cause trouble here. They're not allowed in here.
His ambassador to where?
The Palace of Westminster.
Really?
Barrage.
Oh, well, how am I supposed to connect the dots there? You're talking about Farage as his ambassador to the Palace of Westminster. How am I supposed to know who you're talking about?
Well, let's be perfectly honest. He is Donny's little buddy pal in England after Starmer. And... especially when they had that photograph of the pair of them in front of that awful gold elevator.
Yeah, that is embarrassing.
Let's be honest.
Cheesy grins and thumbs up. Yeah. Kings of the world.
Let's be honest. Trump is the unofficial last king of Scotland, although I think he might have made himself official in the last few days. And the way he had all these idiots out with flags. I mean, they were flying them upside down. And you go, don't you not know anything?
Well, it's worse than that. He's got the flag... Yeah, Farage was complaining about the England football team changing the colours of the flag on their woke football kit, and he has changed the colours of the Union Jack on his own publicity, and he put it upside down. That's how much of a patriot he is.
I mean, what makes me laugh is people lap this guy up. And they say, he's for us, he's British. And you go, hang on a minute.
I don't know how deluded. I don't know how deluded you would have to be to...
you'd be surprised.
Yeah, I am constantly surprised, Sarah.
And the thing is, what makes me laugh, puts my head in my hands, really, when he's starts going on about it's the fault of immigrants, it's the fault of, you know, anybody else he wishes to pick on. And he says, it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault the country's like this. And you go, hang on a minute. You were the one for the last 10 years who has been banging on about Brexit. You got your way. Whose fault is it now, Nigel? It's yours and Boris and the rest of the Brexit boys in the band.
Well, it's the signature policy of Farage that has got us mostly into this mess in the first place. Because after we left the European Union, we lost the right to send people back, and and then there was the Tory. 14 years of Tory catastrophe that also added to the problem because they refused to put people through the system, which caused the backlog that the Labour Party are currently trying to deal with. But let's not go over that again. How is Brexit going, by the way, Nige?
Brexit's going great.
Glad to hear it. Thanks a lot, Sarah. Val in London says, I don't know if any leftover text from last night have suggested this, but could the reference to King Louis by a texter be another nickname for Trump? I think King Louis was the orangutan in the Jungle Book. Yeah, it did occur to me that might be. Yeah. He was the king of the swingers, the jungle VIP. He reached the top and he had to stop, and that's what's a bothering me. Oh, ooby-doo, sing!
Rock and roll!
Great track. That really is a great track. Let's see. Epsom. Hello, Lindsay.
Hi, Nick. How you diddling?
Yeah, very good, thanks.
Good. We spoke briefly last night, and I think I've got a bit obsessed about Trump. I don't like.
Well, it's difficult not to be. It's just everywhere.
I know, but I do follow that Michael Wolff, and he's got a podcast which is quite good actually. It's called Inside Trump's Head. And it's it's quite good viewing because obviously he knows him very well. But you know this theory with Putin, what's Putin got over Trump? He has suggested that from an interview that he did with Epstein some years ago, apparently Epstein went out to Moscow on a little trip. And he's kind of suggesting that that's what he's got over him.
Right. Well, let's not pontificate any further.
No.
I feel like I want to shower just thinking about it.
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm feeling all sticky and clammy.
Yeah. Have you seen the film The Apprentice?
No.
Have you seen that? There's a film. It came out about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's about a biography kind of thing on why Trump is how he is.
Oh.
I can't remember who's in it, but it's quite interesting because is it Roy Cohen? I think he was a lawyer or something like that mentored Trump.
Right.
And he kept saying to him, if you keep saying it, everyone will believe it.
Yeah, just keep saying it over and over again. Yeah, then it becomes true in people's minds.
And that's kind of stuck, hasn't it?
It really has.
He's just gone.
Yeah, but I couldn't bear to sit there and watch a film about Donald Trump. I mean, he's in my life for such a long period of time, and every day anyway. To have more of it, no thanks.
No, I know it's not homework. I'm not setting you any homework.
Okay.
It was just interesting to hear that.
Right.
But I'd recommend the podcast though because that's quite interesting. And he does. Michael Wolff had said a great explanation on why Trump talks so much and the theory behind it, etc.
Well, it's difficult to shut him up. As long as he's talking, then nobody else in the room is getting any attention. So there's that.
No, yeah, exactly. Anyway, that was it for me.
Okay, excellent work. Thanks a lot, Lindsay. 0345 6060 973. She did say "and" at the end there, but she did preface it with "that's the end from me," but then she put an "and" in there. Soraya in Worksop says, "Hi, Nick." Hi. Did you see Demented Donny holding up a photo of himself with his daddy Vlad? Yeah. P.S. It was also my 65th birthday a few years ago. I'm now being bombarded with messages from my GP reminding me that I now need vaccines for shingles and meningitis and pneumonia. I'm not eligible for a bus pass till I'm 67, though. The joys of getting older. Yeah, I had a message from my doctor saying, can you contact us for a vaccine for shingles? I think, where the hell did that come from? I don't want shingles. Why would you give me shingles, I thought. This says, I'm getting married on the 6th of September. Does your stupid weather app predict good weather, or can't it go that far? And can you use 2025 degrees Celsius and not 1925 German Fahrenheit? Well, where are you getting married? You want me to give you the weather worldwide? You have to give me a location. No doubt they'll get back to me. This says, farming unions complain that we import too much food compared to 40 years ago when all we had was potatoes, apples and pears. Cockneys were happy. At least now we have avocados. Yeah, we can't cook the food that we insist on eating. Grow. We can't grow all that exotic food that we've become used to. That's why we have to import it. Stupid farming unions. I mean, who wants to go back to the kind of diet that we used to not enjoy in the 1960s, for instance? When all we had for tea was fish fingers. Fish fingers and beans. Fish fingers, beans and chips every day.
Boring.
Nobody wants to go back to that anymore. Or Swedes.
Disgusting.
I'm not the country, not the people from Sweden. I'm talking about the tuber. Nobody wants to eat that rubbish anymore. No, we want, tofu and other things that you get in a fancy grocery that I can't think of right now. It's not even in fancy groceries. In every supermarket in the land, you get the kind of exotic fare that we could only have dreamed of when we were growing up in the 1960s and 70s. Message coming in from next door. Avocado. Yeah, avocado, probably. Avocados, yeah. And, like beans, like green runner beans, like thin ones, not those horrible stringy ones that we get in this country, but, thin, delicate ones, sophisticated ones that we get from, apparently you have to go to Nigeria or somewhere like that to get them. All over the shop we bring in stuff, because that's what we've become used to now. And we want to eat everything all year round, as opposed to just, eating what is in season in this country. I mean, all of winter would be terrible if we just ate what was in season in this country, wouldn't it? Mind you, we'd all be a lot thinner. No doubt about that.
Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
And I can't stand him.
This says, have you noticed how the protest asylum hotels are all quite tiny? The biggest had less than 200 people, and most were smaller than that. Perhaps the general population is not as concerned as the ranters and ravers on Twitter. Yes, exactly. But we are in danger of being run by those who shout the loudest, as with Brexit.
I'm a nutcase.
Just make as much noise as you possibly can, and everybody else will be cowed into silence. Pauline Shoreham says, I told my stupid smart speaker to play some music by that group that you told us about last week, the Folk Trio. Sorry about this, but that's what they're called. They're called the Folk Trio. It's a very, very good album. I think you'll love it. He says, and my stupid smart speaker wouldn't play it. It ignored me. He says it just doesn't like that kind of talk.
Now, wait a minute. I don't like that kind of talk. Now, just stop it. It upsets me.
That's what it said. Bodmin. Hello, Malcolm.
Good evening, Nick. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Two stories tonight, which one about Starmer and the other which should concern Starmer. But Starmer is going to make it more difficult for judges, or easier for judges to do something against something. And it's bizarre.
Wow, that sounds very, very serious, Malcolm. I think you need to tell us no more.
I think it's immigration and judges and sentencing and all the rest of it. And it's weird. And then the other story, which I told your venerable colleague in the box earlier, was that Trump is putting on some stealth tariffs. But I tried to read around.
He's putting on some what?
Stealth tariffs.
Stealth tariffs?
Yeah.
How can you put on a stealth tariff?
Instead of blanketing a nation or, a nation, hitting a nation in particular. He's going now for surgical precision, and he's actually listing products. So motorcycles, for example, is one. And I think that's stemming from the aluminium and steel stuff. Well, the Times, it was, who have picked up on another story by another outlet I've recently discovered about these 400 products. And Triumph Motorcycles is one company being raised, a British company, that may be affected by these new tyres. Now, Simon Marks made a really interesting point this afternoon, and it was about the Trump state visit and how, if it all goes pear-shaped, if this sort of thing happens, it's going to be very, very difficult for both Starmer and possibly the King. I don't know, in that, was Starmer hasty issuing this invitation for a second visit? Should it even have been?
What difference does it make? He's going to come over here and we'll treat him like a god and we'll give him something that's covered in gold and, he'll go home happy.
Look, that whole visit and all the rest of it, I don't need to tell you about that event in the Oval Office. It's just not good if, invested all of this.
You keep fading in and out, Malcolm. What is going on with your phone?
Let's have a look. Is that better?
Now you sound like a robot.
Affirmative.
Okay, is that any better?
Yeah, that's anyway, better. Yeah, there you are.
Long story short, as they say.
Too late.
It's hey?
Too late for a long story short, but go on.
Okay. Yeah, but no, it just seems that it brings home how precarious this whole situation really is.
Yeah, everything is precarious. We've got a baby with a machine gun who's running the world now, and everybody has to tiptoe lightly around him, hosing him down with flattery in case he, has a fit.
It's not good, mate. And Wes Streeting, I meant to say to you last night, Wes Streeting as a Starmer is not suffering enough. Wes Streeting has said that we are not coherent. The Labour Party at the top is not coherently projecting its messages on what it is it's achieved and is achieving.
Yeah, well, that's not news. I mean, their problem more than anything else is comms, communication. They don't communicate what they've done. They don't communicate what they're trying to do, and they don't communicate the direction in which they're going. So it leaves a great echoing silence for those with evil on their mind to interject and to tell us that up is down and black is white.
Was it the comms last night? I thought, reading about West Street, and it's. I mean, it's there in the news, in the stories. Streeting last night. I picked up very quickly the 3 blunders Streeting had made in that. I mean, the stories I was reading were simply saying that this is weird how West Streeting is more or less calling Starmer incoherent. Because he is, at the end of the day, he's the one messaging, isn't he?
Right.
He's a Starmer's messages.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
I don't know. I don't know, Malcolm. But this entire conversation is depressing me. So I'm going to have to bring it to a close. But I appreciate it. This says, Nick, what's going on with all the flags and George crosses, etc.? I'm a freedom-loving hero. From the top, Nick, what's going on with all the flags, George crosses, etc.? A freedom-loving, heroic patriot or just an English woman's rugby fan? This doesn't really make sense. Just a jumble of words. New sentence, small h, has painted the roundabout opposite my garden with the George Cross. The local community will know it's not the antisocial, non-reform supporting Marxist commie from number 1, Ashley, where I live. Absolutely meaningless. What on earth is that about? Ghislaine Maxwell has actually made Trump seem even more guilty, says this one. Yeah, quite an achievement. That's right, yeah. Does anybody believe a single word that woman says?
No.
No. Do you believe a single word that woman says on the subject of Donald Trump?
No.
Absolutely. Lester. Hello, Cameron.
How you doing, Nick?
Well, thanks.
Good. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Appreciate it.
I was just calling. I was listening to your last night's show on the catch-up.
Yeah.
And you were talking, I think we've touched on it today already a little bit, about, sort of getting old and all that kind of stuff and not quite knowing when you're old. And it was interesting. So I've just come off the back of a summer of concerts where I've seen... the highlight was seeing Bruce Springsteen bring out Macca at Anfield, which was amazing.
Wow, that must have been great.
It was the best. I think I've seen the Rolling Stones, when they come around about 2018, but I think it was up there with my favourite concert between those two.
Because it happened the other way around at Glastonbury, didn't it? Paul McCartney was doing this fantastic set, and then he brought out who's the
he brought out Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl, that's right. Yeah, Dave Grohl. And you thought, wow, well, that's pretty great. And Dave Grohl was like a fanboy, wasn't he? As though he was about to explode with pleasure on stage. Couldn't contain himself. And then Macca said a little while later, and now from like 6,000 miles away, here's Bruce Springsteen. And the crowd went, And he said, no, you think I'm joking, don't you? No, here he is. Yeah, that was great.
It was fantastic. I mean, when Springsteen brought him out, he says, he's a young lad from Liverpool, and he's, but you don't know where he's going to go. But no, it was great. It was great for that. And I thought, there's two old geezers there, sort of tearing up the stage at Anfield.
Right.
And this Thursday, I closed off my summer of concerts with AC/DC at Murrayfield.
Blimey.
Was fantastic.
I bet it was.
I mean, it was loud.
Yes, it goes without saying. Yeah,
I got earache yesterday to him. I felt it, but no, it was amazing. But you know what I was thinking? I mean, so they got Angus Young up there, and he's doing his disco dancing and playing his guitar and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula with Gary Oldman.
I don't think I've seen that.
I mean, no. I mean, it's Gary Oldman. He's like Dracula. He looks pretty knackered.
You're going to say the hair, aren't you?
Exactly. Yeah, the hair. Exactly,
right.
The hair.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, it's a bit like in Indiana Jones. You know the fellow who drinks from the Holy Grail? It's not the Holy Grail. He burns. That's like Angus Young.
Yeah. I mean, that is a lifetime of unhealthy living etched upon his countenance right there.
Yeah, no, quite right. But I thought, you know what? So he was playing his. He got to the end of the concert and he busts out this 15-minute guitar solo. I think it was off the back of. I forget what. I don't know if it was Hell's Bells or if it was on the back of it. It was on the back of something. He did a 15-minute guitar solo. And in this 15 minutes, he's on a podium that's 12 foot high in the air. He's dancing up the stairs. He's jumping about. He literally does. At one point, I thought he'd broken bones. He goes and does an actual backflip. Straight onto the ground.
No.
No
way.
I promise you, he did a backflip with his guitar on a 12-foot high podium onto the ground. I thought it was a casualty. I thought they'd have to bring down the lights or something like that.
I would have to actually see that with my own eyes to believe it.
No, well, I ain't lying to you.
Okay.
No, but I thought, you know what? I mean, that is. I mean, I don't know how old the bloke is, but he's not looking well.
No, at all.
I'm thinking if I can be, half as virile as him or you when I reach your wizened ages, then I'll be happy.
Yes, thanks for putting it like that, Cameron. I appreciate it. The only guy I've ever seen do a backflip, well, two guys I've seen do a backflip on stage. One was Niels Lofgren, who used to have an actual small trampoline on stage with which he used to bounce on it and then do a backflip while he was doing a guitar solo. Why? I have no idea. But just because he could, I suppose. And he now plays guitar with Bruce Springsteen, of course. And the other was Iggy Pop, who did it by accident because he climbed up on a speaker stack and then he fell off it backwards. And the band kept playing. And it was Steve Jones out of the Sex Pistols who was the guitarist there, and he had a big cowboy hat on, and they just kept playing, and Iggy Pop had disappeared, and he was gone for, well, it seemed like 5 minutes. We thought, is the guy dead? Do people actually know that there's a dead rock star behind the speaker stack? And then about 5 minutes later, he just exploded back onto the stage as though he'd been fired out of a cannon, and acted like nothing had happened. Yeah.
No, I mean, it was a fantastic show, and they had cannons and fireworks and all that. So,
Right.
no, definitely.
Did he have the big bell that they
brought that bell?
The
Yeah,
big bell. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Good times. See, old rockers can still do it, and they can outshine young rockers, no doubt about it, because I think the best thing that I saw at Glastonbury this time around, on TV, right enough, but was Neil Young. I mean, he must have been the oldest rocker there, and he blew everybody else off stage, in my estimation. All right, good talking to you, Cameron. Thanks for that.
Leading Britain's conversation, Nick Abbott. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
I really like you. Do you like me?
Sure, why not? Mick texts, Nick, you're 65, you don't look a day over 64. Thanks, Mick, I appreciate that. Very kind of you to say so. Amy says, hi, Nick. New idea for your Trump bingo card. I predict that the space opera president will have a few massive golden Trump signs put up, like the Hollywood sign. The first one will be outside the White House next to his giant unnecessary ballroom. Easier to do than carving his head into Mount Rushmore. Yeah, I don't doubt it for a second. And because he's building that ballroom, that is absolutely incontrovertible proof that he ain't going anywhere. Why spend or have all of that that glitz put up in your honour and then not show up to attend functions in it? Of course he ain't going nowhere. This says, hi, Nick, I'm sure at some point you'll mention the far-right protests today. I used to work for a city council's CCTV centre, and these protests are always embarrassingly small, like Donny's hand's size small, and usually outnumbered by counter-protesters. It's just never reported that way. The news never mentions the numbers of people attending. Yeah, well, that's not exciting news, is it? You want to make it appear as though it's hundreds of thousands of people and they're all absolutely furious, and photographers will take close-up pictures of apoplectic people yelling clenched fists, bedecked in the flag, showing us how few teeth they've got, who always look like they've been assembled with body parts that they found in a skip at the back of a hospital. No offence. Let's see now. Heston, Isaac.
Nick.
Isaac.
Two things.
Yes.
Let's get down to business.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, a belated happy birthday.
Thank you.
And number two, this week Donald Trump said he was, a war hero. Did you hear that? Yeah.
Well, I heard him say at one point that he was somebody who had a Purple Heart gave it to him. One of his cult fans. And Donald Trump said, this is very appropriate because, really, it's like I am a war hero, or words to that effect, because, he got shot at once. He's a war hero now. He deserves a Purple Heart.
Okay, I mean, isn't this the same guy who dodged the Vietnam draft?
Yeah, 5 times, I think.
Really?
Well,
5 times?
that's from
Wow.
memory. That might not be the correct number, but he certainly did. He didn't go. Mind you, if we'd been there at that time, would we have wanted to go to fight in a war that we didn't believe in, to put yourself probably at risk of death or disease or maiming? Would you have gladly gone? Hell no.
Absolutely no. Absolutely no. I mean that reminds me. The late Muhammad Ali refused to go because his argument was, what has a Vietnamese guy ever done to me? That's what he said.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what Muhammad Ali said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a lot of things to criticise Donald Trump for, but I'm not sure that is what should be at the top of people's list, because I would probably have done everything I could to get out of that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, he's a war hero.
Yeah, he's a war hero. Yeah, regardless of him never having been in a war, he's still a war hero. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thanks very much.
Excellent work. Thanks a lot, Isaac. Appreciate it.
I'll bring us into war.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. You just won't go to it. That's all. Sally says, no good asking me if you... No good me asking you... No good asking me how you know if you're grown up. Okay, that makes sense. I'm 74, says Sally, and my daughter tells me to grow up and stop winding my granddaughters up. Never going to happen, says Sally. Don't comply, Sally. Be your own person. You are special and unique. Matlock, Metin.
Hi, Nick. Thank you for taking my call. Regarding Trump meeting an alleged Putin doppelganger in Alaska, actually in 1988, Trump met an impersonator pretending to be a world leader, and he completely fell for it.
Who?
In 1988, a Gorbachev lookalike caused confusion
yes,
during
that's
the
right.
Soviet leader's visit. Yeah. And Trump was watching TV, and the impersonator was broadcasted on the TV.
He was outside Trump. He was outside Trump Tower, wasn't he?
That's right. And he pulled up to hand out business cards and promote his impersonation services. And he came rushing down and believing he was meeting the real Gorbachev.
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised, if it wouldn't take much to fool him again.
Well, I just would love to know what it was that wiped the smile off everybody's face in that Trump team, because they went in all smile, cheesy grins and thumbs up and all, and they came out looking like they'd been beaten up.
Yeah. Have you heard about the, excuse my language, P tapes regarding Trump when he was in Moscow?
Yeah, I think everybody's heard about them,
Yeah,
but there's no evidence that they exist or any such thing happened. But,
obviously,
it must be, if Putin has something on him, it must be absolutely toe-curlingly awful, because the things that we know about Donald Trump that he's admitted to and boasted about are pretty bad in and of themselves.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, he's trying to distract as much as he can from the Epstein files, isn't he? So
as
it wouldn't
much
surprise me.
as he can, yeah. I'm sure that if what has happened thus far doesn't work, then I'm sure World War III is just around the corner. Yeah.
Anyway, one last thing, Nick. I listened to your other podcast with Carol, and it was excellent. So thank you.
Okay, well, very nice of you to say so.
Podcast.
I appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Right, yeah.
Bye.
All right, ta-da. 0345 6060 973. I still want to talk about this AI chatbot that has gone very, 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 very rogue. I think we're all in great danger. I think artificial intelligence is going to kill us.
Correct.
I'm not the only one to think that. The people that are actually making artificial intelligence, they think that too.
Affirmative.
Rickmansworth. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, how are you again?
Good, thanks.
Last night. Just to say, because I was in the corner shop and this woman called the lady next to me and she went, Ghislaine. And I looked round and I was like, can you imagine being called that? I would totally be making all my mates just go with my middle name. It must be the worst name
At the moment. Yeah.
Truly.
Yes.
And then I'm actually in Margate tonight, and the Sex Pistols were playing with the Stranglers and the Buzzcocks.
You're
and
kidding.
I had truly the coolest atmosphere in, just seeing, kind of old punks by the beach. It was such a special, vibe.
So tell me that lineup again. The Sex Pistols?
The Buzzcocks and the Stranglers.
And the Stranglers. Wow. What a lineup.
And the only thing that I was a bit gutted by, though, is that on Dreamland, for every band that plays, they put, a classic line, as to the band that's playing. So, when the Simple Minds are playing, it was like, don't you, ... But
she expressed herself a little too forcefully there. She was talking about one of the Sex Pistols song, and she emphasised a syllable that is perhaps best not broadcast. But I appreciate it, Sarah. That sounds like a heck of a lineup, even though I would imagine that not many of the original people are still available to perform from those bands. The Sex Pistols, the Buzzcocks and the Stranglers. Well, of course, Johnny Rotten ain't doing that no more. Unless he is, in which case somebody should tell me straight away, if not sooner. Steve in France says, I'm 72, and I still behave like a 27-year-old. These past 2 days, I've been awake for 2 days, moving and grooving to great sounds. You've been up for 2 days and you're 72 years old? Moving and grooving to the great sounds? You want to have a nap, mate? Take the weight off. And this is, Nick, do you remember that villain in the Thunderbirds who used to hypnotise the goodies with his eyes? Any chance that Vlad has learned this technique? Well, come to think of it, he does actually have that sort of wooden mien of a Thunderbirds puppet. His face didn't really seem to move that much, does it? It was very, very odd the way he looked at that Alaska summit. And there was so much else going on during that Alaska summit. I sort of unconsciously noted it, that he had a weird-looking face. But, you know, there was so much else to concentrate on that I didn't really bring it to the front of my mind. But, yeah, he did sort of... He looked like a man who'd had a lot of cosmetic work done. Now, whether that is actually true of him, or there are, as has been postulated many times before, he does have body doubles. Well, who knows? Curiouser and curiouser. 0345 6060 973. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
On your radio, on the LBC app, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC. This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbott.
Hang about it. Now, what I'm trying to say to you is this, Nick, right?
Oh, hello.
This message says, so Donald Trump knows a lot about grass. Can he please explain why he concreted Jackie Kennedy's Rose Garden to build a $200 million ballroom? The man can't dance for crying out loud. Yeah. He can't dance. I mean, he sort of moves, but he moves as though he's being subject to a small electrical current. It's like somebody's wired up his bottom to a battery while he fondles two hot dogs at face level.
Don't be rude.
That's what it looks like to me, Donny. Kind of embarrassing. Speaking of dancing, here's one in Leicester called Mark.
Hi, Nick.
Mark.
Hello. I was a bit delayed tuning into your show because there was a documentary about funk music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and David Bowie was on it, actually.
Oh.
Because of fame.
Yes.
And there's quite a few acts like Benny and the Jets, Elton John and Talking Heads once in a lifetime that really sort of borrowed from the funk genre. So
yeah.
That was interesting, yeah.
James Brown. Hit me.
James Brown, that was my first ever gig. James Brown.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It was good stuff. It was for me, it was James Brown, Stevie Wonder, and then Prince were like some of my first gigs. That's not bad, is it?
That is pretty good, yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about World in Action documentary 7 Up. Do you remember that? Where they follow people every 7 years?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do, yeah.
I thought you'd probably be quite interested in that. And what's fascinating is the class... Well, that was the whole point of it, really, was to compare the different paths of kids from middle class, upper class and working class background. And I think next year is the 70. They're finally at 70.
Oh, they're still doing it, are they?
Yeah. It started in the 63, 64, I think.
Right.
So what was interesting is the kids from really upper class or upper middle class background, their path was so fixed. When they were 7 years old, they were saying, well, I'm going to go to Charterhouse now, Marlborough, and then I'm going to go to Cambridge. And that's exactly what they did when they visited them again when they were 21.
Yeah.
It was like, so-and-so went to Marlborough, then they went to Cambridge, whereas the working class kids didn't have so much of an idea of what direction they were going to go in.
Yeah.
And their lives were so much more disjointed. So it just kind of shows that, people have this idea that we're all individuals and we all, control what happens in our lives. But it's actually quite set out.
Absolutely, yeah. People... So there's so much to talk about on that issue, but a tax has been something that people have been talking about over the last week or so. Taxing the rich, and one of the reasons why poor people seem weirdly disapproving of taxing the rich is that they have in mind that at some point in the future they will become rich. It's really bizarre. It's like sort of an instinctual thing that your life will be like you always wanted it to be. All you have to do is pick the right numbers in the lottery or meet the right person in a bus queue or whatever it might be. But it's vanishingly unlikely that is ever going to happen. In fact, I'd bet money that it will never, ever, ever happen to you unless you were born rich.
Yeah, and this documentary really shows, that generally speaking, people's paths are pretty much set out from, 7 years old. Yeah. And how long they're going to live and the health that they'll enjoy when they're alive and all of that stuff. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Just one more thing I was going to mention. Stephen Van Zandt, he's in the Bruce Springsteen's band. Yeah, also in The Sopranos. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, have you seen Lilyhammer? Lilyhammer. Oh, really good. If you like The Sopranos, you'll love that. It's about it's Stephen Van Zandt. He's like New York gangster who has to. They say they can, give him what's the word? Send him somewhere safe because he's like grassed on people. Oh yeah. And they say, where do you want to go? Barbados or whatever. He says, no, I want to go to Norway. Because he saw the Winter Olympics there and he's obsessed with it. So it's all about this New York gangster like adjusting to life in a small Norway town. Yeah. And of all the people in The Sopranos they picked to play that, they picked Little Stevie. Yeah. I mean, I like his work in that, but I'd have to say that he wasn't the best actor in The Sopranos, was he? In fact, I'll stick my neck out, he was the worst. Yeah, well, it's probably why Lilyhammer is more like, I suppose it's more comedy, really. But right. And is that a film or a series? No, it's like a series. A series, yeah. Okay. I don't know where you can find it now, but it's definitely worth watching because it's just really entertaining, the cultural contrast, from trying to adjust to Norwegian life with all the... all the rules and regulations and social consciousness and stuff. Well, I'll stick it on my list. Yes, check it out. And one more thing, have you seen Blinded by the Light? Oh, you know what? It's been at almost the top of my list for a little while because I just saw one that's kind of similar, which is the one where the guy falls asleep and he wakes up and no one has ever heard of the Beatles. Have you seen that one? Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. I'm a Beatles fan, so I think I shed a tear watching that film. I was just going to say the exact same thing. When he played yesterday... I was actually... tears... the front of my shirt wasn't wet, but tears did come down the front of my beautiful face. That's a brilliant scene because they all just sit there speechless and say, and he's like, well, of course it's brilliant. It's one of the best songs ever written. And they're like, wow. Did you just write that? They said. Yeah, it's a great film. No, I'll watch Blinded by the Light. Yeah, it's on my list. Yeah, it's a bit cheesy in parts, but it's well worth it because all about this kid. And I'm not even a Bruce Springsteen fan, really, but I was kind of moved by that film. So, yeah, definitely worth watching. OK, thanks for the good advice. Cheers, Mark. 0345 6060 973. Conrad says, apart from the grass outside, Cardiff Castle, the internal grounds, are about 2 miles long alongside the River Taff. Apart from the grass outside Cardiff Castle... it would be a better way of reading it. The internal grounds are about 2 miles long alongside the River Taff. I used to train on the paths. You make me laugh, Vlad the Insaner. He must have had trips to Brazov Castle. Maybe that's why Donnie and Co. looked pale.
What on earth does that mean? What does that mean? Warning, Brighton and Hove is packed. Yeah, I mean, next week is kind of annoying because, and it happens like this so many times, that the days that you want to, the days you're not working are the rubbish days. Because I can't possibly go to Brighton on Monday because absolutely everybody will be there. So that is not even a possibility. And the rest of the week is kind of chilly. So it does seem as though summer is sort of over. It happened this way last year, didn't it? I mean, we didn't have a very good summer last year, but it was instant autumn on September the 1st. You remember? I think it happened that way the previous year as well, and it's kind of looking that way here too. Because the next couple of weeks, I mean, it almost seems like a distant memory now, but it was 80-some degrees, 85, something like that, not too long ago. And the next 2 weeks is like 64. Oh, it's over. Damn it! I'm not ready for it to be over yet. Let's have Somerset. Hello, Laura.
Hi, Nick.
Laura.
Did you have a good birthday yesterday?
Yeah, it was a nice day. I worked. I had a good time doing the show. Yeah.
Did you get any prezzies?
Some people sent me some very nice things, yes, which I appreciate very much indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're in the home stretch of your radio-a-thon at the moment.
I know. Only one more to go. And then I can sleep and have refreshments. Booze. All sorts of things. Watch TV, you know.
Go to Brighton. I love that you love Brighton. It's one of my favourite places in the UK.
Well, it's just so easy to get there, is the thing. I mean, everywhere else is hard to get to. I mean, on the coast. Brighton is 1 hour, and it's a piece of cake. Everywhere else is like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's just more difficult and way more expensive as well. I still have not made it to Bournemouth because it costs...
You ain't made it to Bath.
Because it costs like £100 to get there and back.
You've not made it to Bath yet?
I don't think I've ever been to Bath. Oh, once maybe on the way to or back from... Well, it had to be the way to Glastonbury. When you come back from Glastonbury, you don't really want to go anywhere civilised because, you know, the smell.
You might like it, you know. We got Georgian buildings.
Yeah.
They filmed Bridgerton here, you know.
Right, I never saw Bridgerton. I don't know what that is, but yeah, I understand that the architecture is a delight.
And the people are just wonderful.
Really?
Yes, really.
Really?
You know, you come to Bath, we'll skip down the street listening to Herman's Hermits. It'd be great. But that's you. I'm not going to give you a chance to reply to that.
Right.
What I called to talk about, my first question to you was, a lady called earlier to ask you about how everyone still feels the age that they want to be. You know, you said you don't feel 65. What age do you feel then at the moment?
I'm sort of 30-something. I mean, 40 sounds old to me. 50 sounds incredibly old. 60, how are you even alive?
Well, I'm in my 20s, and it seems that for people in their late 20s, they do one of three things. You either run a marathon, train for marathons, or you move to Australia, or you get pregnant. And
those are your choices.
I haven't decided which one of those things I'd like to do yet.
Right. Well, I would do them. I would do them individually and not all at the same time.
Or I could do none of them. That's the other thing. I'm different. I'm not like the other people, you know. So there's a few things I want to talk about, if that's okay. I know you mentioned a while ago that you had a peruse of Facebook just because your curiosity got the better of you. There are some brilliant groups on there. I was going to recommend one to you called Birds with Threatening Auras. And it's people that post pictures of birds they find in their daily lives with threatening auras. They just look evil. And it's very entertaining, and I thought it'd be right up your alley.
Well, crows look evil, and they have a malevolent gait as well. When they hop about on the ground, they just look kind of nasty.
And you know what a group of them's called, don't you?
Murder.
Yeah.
A murder of crows.
I won't. I'll. If you ask me next time, I'll do it. I do a great impression of a crow. I actually just was working at wildlife hospital recently, and that they agreed that my impression was very good.
Absolutely not going to ask you to do that. Not now, not ever, never.
I actually threw, for the first time ever, I threw a surprise party for somebody this evening.
Oh, and did they twig?
Does that mean did they know what's happening? No. I had, the ruse was very good. There was a couple of twists and turns, but I navigated them with grace and decorum. My dog's name.
Right. Yeah, somebody threw I had a surprise birthday party on my 50th, and I've never been so shocked in my life. Apparently, I looked like I was going to die.
Well, everybody, I actually was like sorting out the music at the time that my dad came in, and people said that he looked happy, but I do wonder if he looked a bit like, what the heck's going on? Because the ruse I got him to come to this place, that it was some sort of really boring village, like wine and cheese tasting event, and he was sort of like, do I have to go? And I'm like, yes, I got tickets. But I don't think he was actually looking forward to it, so I think it did go well, actually.
Right.
But we had a little picture of you on the wall because it was your birthday yesterday. So it could be it was a double meaning party.
You had a picture of me on the wall?
Just a little tiny one, yeah.
At your dad's birthday party?
No, it was his retirement party.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and we thought we'll double it as a birthday party for Nick Abbot. So just put a little picture of you there. The guy on the bus.
I didn't get invited. That's nice.
You wouldn't have come anyway.
No, I wouldn't have come anyway. No, that is true, yeah. But I was there in spirit. Final
thing I wanted to show you. This is just me giving you lovely things to think about and look at. Your grandma's sister will put a picture up for you. It's something I saw recently. They did a NASA launch back in 2010. There was a frog that also got launched off at the same time.
Oh,
and I just think this is brilliant.
I'm looking at there's a rocket ship with a lot of smoke, and what I initially thought was a human being falling from a very high point, but it's a frog. Right, that must have been the shock of that frog's life.
Could you imagine what he told his friends? Nobody would have believed him.
No, that is true. All right, thanks a lot, Laura.
Leading Britain's conversation, Nick Abbot. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
Where is it?
Okie dokie.
Thank you. 0345 6060 973. This says, talking about getting older, I'm 66 and was bending down to give my dog a kiss at bedtime. I lost my balance and banged my knee on the floor. I immediately received a message on my smartwatch. It said, it seems like you've had a hard fall, so we're now calling the emergency services. Really? The call started and I had to scramble about to turn it off before it was connected. So much for getting older. Blimey. I had no idea that kind of thing was a feature on a smartwatch. That is a smartwatch. Michael in Enfield says, I've had a no way moment. I'm finally getting around to watching The Sopranos. And I now realise after many years that one of your sound bites is not Judge Judy, it's Tony's mum.
Listen to him. He knows everything.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Bill in Cookstown says, have you seen the latest thing that AI has delivered to us fresh from hell? You can now upload any relative's social media posts, photos or videos of them, and get a realistic AI version of that person, with which you can have realistic conversations with after they're dead. Does this mean I can look forward to arguments with my wife about who forgot to put the bins out after she's gone? Really? That's like Minority Report. At the beginning, Tom Cruise has that, he goes out and gets some stimulants, and then he comes back and he has that sort of 3D conversation with his ex-wife, or his dead wife. God, the future is here, and I don't like the sound of it. You can upload any relative's social media posts, photos or videos of them and get a realistic AI version of that person with which you can have conversations after they're dead. Well, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? I mean, what about memory. Wouldn't that be better? No, I don't like the sound of that at all. I'm thinking about it and thinking, well, maybe it would be nice for people, but really? No. It's a no from me. But there is some AI chatbot news I have to share with you. But first, it's a call in San Francisco from Sophia. Sophia.
Hey, Nick, how you doing there again?
Yes, very well, thanks.
Well, your good friend is over here going crazy. He went to the Smithsonian Institute this week and he removed anything mentioning slavery or pictures of slavery or any relic of slavery, saying that it doesn't look very nice. And he wants American history to have only nice things.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then he turned around and went with the Pentagon and he fired 3 more admirals and generals because they didn't agree with his assessment on the Iran attack. So that's a nutshell for you.
It's absolutely incredible what is happening in America. You can't. It's almost as though you can't put it into words. What is happening? It's as though we're all watching a film.
It's no longer democracy. It's basically a dictatorship because he's now sending troops in all the major cities in the Democratic controlled areas, and it's just basically he's telling attorney generals in certain states to if they don't do what he says, there's going to be hell to pay and all that stuff. So basically, America is no longer a democracy. Basically, it's now a Trump business.
Yeah, that's the way to put it. It's a Trump business. That's precisely what has happened. It's unbelievable. And we're actually living through it. This isn't one of those stories that you read in history books about, oh, God, how on earth did that happen? How could people possibly have been so asleep while they watched this happen? It's happening right now. I guess it's interesting being at the heart of history unfolding, but also it's absolutely terrifying because it's happening to us.
Yeah, because and he's coming nowadays. He's coming to Britain soon, Nick, and he's going to be your neighbor.
Well, he's going to be our ruler, is what is happening, because he will anything that he doesn't like, he will start slapping tariffs on us until we do his bidding, which is what is happening in Brazil.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Brazil is standing up to him, Australia is standing up to him, and Canada is standing up to him. And so that's the way to do it. Bullies don't back down when you give them what they want. They just come for more. That's precisely,
that is exactly right. Yeah, but they're only standing up to him to a certain degree because what he has is the world's largest collection of middle-class people with money. And so he's using that as a weapon. America is the biggest customer on Earth, and he's using his country as a weapon to get whatever he happens to want on any given day. Yeah, it's terrifying, really.
Yeah, it's interesting too because more and more countries are moving away from the dollar, and if the dollar ends as the world reserve currency, it's gonna cut America off at the knees, as what happened to with Britain in the 1900s.
Well, all of these things could happen, but if something like that does happen, as you know, I mean, if he just continues with his demented tariffs routine, he's upending hundreds of years of carefully put together economic activity. It's not carefully put together. It just grows like that. And if you take the tree out, then the ivy will fall as well. So the consequences of him just playing dictator are going to affect absolutely everybody. Businesses are I've got there's an American equipment manufacturer called John Deere. I'm coming up to the news, so I'll tell you about it after the news. But the stuff that he's doing is affecting everybody, and you know his fans don't seem to have taken this on board. I'm finding it difficult to get the words to describe. Well, there is no doubt that it is a cult. Yeah.
But also too, he now says he wants to be knighted.
Well, he wants to be he wants to be world king, and unfortunately, that appears to be what is happening.
It's
in San Francisco, Sophia, you are in the crosshairs.
Yes, and it's going to implode real soon because we're now $40 trillion in debt, and it can't continue.
Well, he's going to try and contain it by stopping information like that coming out. He's going to stop the unemployment numbers coming out, and he's going to try to rig the inflation numbers, and he's going to. I mean, it's funny, but it really isn't. A comedy dictator. Everything he's doing is appalling, but it is also occasionally funny while he's doing it. Yeah, it's kind of dispiriting, really. I think the human race needs work. All right, thanks a lot, Sophia. How many more messages have I got? Let's see. Oh, just 10 pages of closely typed messages. All right, I'll try to get through as many as I can. This is, hi Nick, what do you think about the theory that David Bowie's lifetime was the only good time to be a human, 1947 to 2016? Yeah, well, that's an interesting thought. Yes. Things were ticking along fairly well. I mean, there was always trauma in the world, no doubt. But much of it happened before 1947 and after 2016. So maybe David Bowie was actually the glue that was holding the world together. Thanks a lot, David Bowie. You couldn't have stuck around for a few more years? It says, finally worked out what Putin has on Donny. Pictures of him without his wig on.
I don't wear a toupee.
Mark Twain once wrote, says Lawrence, if you wrestle with pigs, you'll get dirty, but the pigs will love it. Donald to a T, he says. And Ian in Cardiff says, Nick, I agree with you regarding the lack of privacy in hotel room toilets. The answer, I believe, is to provide every room with a set of earmuffs. When you go to the loo, the person remaining in the room puts on the earmuffs. Well, isn't it pleasurable to get back to talking about toilets? Who would have thunk it? This says, I'm lying in bed listening to you in Ibiza on a holiday. You're in Ibiza. And you're listening to me. You're in the party capital of the world and you got me on. He says, the family and the mother, I'm with the family and the mother-in-law is snoring so loud I'm considering either leaving or gently placing a pillow over her entire face. What should I do, or should I ask Carol?
Shut up.
Yeah, no. I would check into another hotel, if that's a possibility. Or at least another room on a different floor in the one that you're in. How does that sound? And Karen in Dartford says, hi Nick, Putin has probably cloned himself several times over, so we'll never get rid of him. Yeah, no doubt.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott.
Have an outside line, please.
Okay, here's that story about John Deere. It's an agricultural equipment manufacturer. They're called John Deere. They announced layoffs affecting more than 200 workers across 3 Midwestern facilities this week, citing customer uncertainty over President Donald Trump's expanding tariff policies as a primary factor in declining sales. The company will terminate 338 employees at its Illinois facilities later this month. That's what they said. Terminate. Sounds a bit severe.
Correct.
Can't you just let them go? And if you aren't familiar with them, John Deere is the maker of agricultural and forest machinery, diesel engines, heavy equipment, lawn care equipment. They cut grass.
I know more about grass than any human being, I think, anywhere in the world.
Can you imagine saying that? I mean, anybody else in the world that has said something as stupid as that, you would think, oh, what a nut. I mean, John Deere is the most basic middle American company. It is America, like apple pie and assault rifles. And it's made by and for the people that voted for the current and future President of the United States of America. You know, those people. We just want President Trump. Well, you've got him. How's that working out for you?
Oh, fabulous.
During the company's third quarter earnings call, John Deere executives directly linked the sales slowdown to tariff uncertainty. They said, if you have customers that are concerned about what their year-end markets are going to look like in a tariff environment, they're waiting to see the outcomes of what those trade deals look like, said the president of John Deere's Worldwide Agriculture and Turf Division. But, he's just an expert. So what does he know? The company estimates tariffs have already cost it $300 million this year. And they're forecasting a full-year impact of nearly $600 million, all thanks to Trump's tariffs. And John Deere is not alone. They join a growing list of major manufacturers announcing layoffs linked to his tariff policies, which have imposed duties ranging from 10% to over 100% on goods from dozens of countries. He just thinks it up and does it. Stellantis, maker of Chrysler, Jeep and Dodge vehicles, laid off 370 workers in Kokomo, Indiana, announced thousands of additional staff cuts across plants in the US. The company said it was taking immediate actions due to tariffs. Mack Trucks plans to eliminate between 250 and 350 jobs at its Pennsylvania facility and up to 100 more in Maryland over the next 90 days, stating market uncertainty is the problem about the impact of tariffs. Gaming giant Nintendo delayed pre-orders for its highly anticipated Switch 2 console, originally scheduled for April the 9th, in their words, in order to assess the potential impact of tariffs. A survey of CEOs by CNBC found that 37% expected to cut jobs this year, with 82% anticipating resurgent inflation as companies pass tariff costs on to consumers through price increases of between 5 and 20%. And he's done this before. Donald Trump's first term, economists estimated his tariffs cost approximately 245,000 American jobs. Just think about that. Almost 250,000 people put out of work just because of that guy. And the very people that were affected voted for him again, on the promise of him being mean to other people. Recent federal data shows the manufacturing sector has already lost 14,000 jobs in May and June, despite the administration's promises that the tariffs would boost domestic production. And the layoffs particularly affect Rust Belt communities, the ones that voted for Trump, the ones in the middle of America. How's that working out for you? Is he keeping the American dream alive?
The American dream is dead.
Here's what's going to happen. I'll put some of this on my Trump bingo card. These are additions. He'll continue with the tariffs because it's a tax on the American businesses and consumers, but the morons who voted for him don't believe it is because the Tangerine Twitler keeps saying that it isn't. He keeps saying foreign companies pay the tariffs, and they'd rather believe him than the evidence of their own eyes. It's a cult. And then, here comes the cute part. Just before the next election, he'll send out checks with his face on for a small amount of the money that they paid out in tariff sales tax. That, I believe, is what this is all about. He'll kid on that he's being generous, and the simpletons in his cult fan club will believe it. He'll take £100 off them and give them £1 back. And that'll come alongside the gerrymandering of electoral districts to try to ensure that he'll cheat his way to more seats. And he's going to ban mail-in votes. And if you've wondered about why that is, he said, we are the only country in the world that has mail-in votes. Well, you'll be surprised to learn that's not true. He's lying about that. Loads of countries have mail-in votes. There's no end to them. Well, technically speaking, there is an end to them, but the list is long. Why do you think he wants to ban mail-in votes? Well, initially, it means that those who can't take a day off won't vote, because it's more difficult in America than it is here. Here, there's, a voting station that will be 100 yards from your door. It's a short walk, wherever you live. There, you might have to drive for hours. And you're going to have to take the whole day off work. And the poorer you are, the less likely you'll be able to do that. And the poorer you are, the more likely you are to not vote for Donald Trump overall. So that will lead to it being more likely that he'll get re-elected. And then this will happen. Because mail-in votes won't be allowed, more people will have to show up at polling booths, poorer people. So he will station his masked, unidentified immigration goons outside of polling stations to pull random non-white people out of the queues and bundle them away in unmarked vans, just like he's doing now. He's ramping that up in order to get us used to that happening, to get us inured to it. And that's what's going to happen outside the polling stations. I betcha, in poorer areas. He's going to have those masked people pull people out of crowds and stick them in vans and drive them away. And that is going to make people fearful of showing up. They'll just not show up to the polls. And he'll have banned mail-in voting, so they won't be able to do that either. It's a coup. The most powerful nation on earth has been taken over by a decrepit, painted clown off the telly who's being used as a battering ram by the billionaire psycho tech bros who are funding all this, so as to make sure that they get even more money than they have at the moment, which is already so much they couldn't spend it in 100 lifetimes. And I suspect that those same people are targeting this country for the next stage in their plan for world domination. Because just enough of us seem eager to join America in giving up everything in the hope that the leader will make other people's lives worse than theirs. Because that's all they seem to want. Just as long as other people are being treated more appallingly, they don't mind if they get treated appallingly too. What a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
0345 6060 973. Jeff in Bromley says, Nick, I just got back from a meal in Orpington. These flag-waving nut jobs are painting the cross of St George on mini roundabouts. Are they? Are they? Dodging traffic in order to get their point across. This says, evening, Nick. I was just listening to last night's show. It was the part about the Brits moving to Spain because there's too many foreigners in the UK. Yeah, I'll just pause to let you think about that for a moment. Moving to Spain because there's too many foreigners in the UK. That's what they said. He says, my dad just complained that the Indian takeaway couldn't understand what he was saying. I can't believe I'm related to these morons. That's an anonymous message. He didn't want to, alert us to the name of his family, no doubt. Sam in Lincolnshire says, hi, Nick. Rose has been talking about biking and asking if she's too old. The mechanic who I take my car to is 80 years old and still rides a large racing-style motorbike. He says he won't stop, and I understand that. Why would he? That's right, Boris. George in Huddersfield says, hi, Nick. Hi. The former Home Secretary Jackie Smith was a motorbike rider, and she looked great in her black leathers. Is that a fact? Do they get hot? You would think that they'd be very, very hot and uncomfortable. Like all in black, like leather trousers. It never really appealed to me. They look deeply uncomfortable. And they don't look like they stretch either. And how'd you clean them? Well, you just pull them inside out and give them a hose down? That sounds awful. Mind you, Slash, out of Guns N' Roses, he seems to have had his welded on. Has he ever taken them off? Ian in Romford says, so if it wasn't Vladimir Putin who met Trump, who was behind the mask? Was it this... was it the caretaker from Scooby-Doo? Oh? Those pesky kids. And Alex says, did you hear Donny Dingerling say he looks extremely good in shorts? It's bad enough that we can see his face, never mind his legs as well. He did not say that he looks good in shorts. Come on. He says, I'm amazed Trump can even see his legs. What with how gloopy he is and that weird lean he does. Yeah, it does look like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. He cantilevers his gut over his shoes like a tree bending in the wind. What is that about? It seems very, very odd the way he stands. OK, here's that story on shorts. One moment, please. Do you want cookies? No, I don't. All right. This is asked whether he would participate in the FIFA World Cup draw at the Kennedy Center in December. The president says, "I'm a very," he says, "I'm a very good athlete." No, impossible.
Exercising is fun and it's nice.
How do you know? Many 79-year-old men aren't exactly eager to show off what they're working with below the knee, says this story. Donald Trump, as per usual, is an exception. Speaking at the White House yesterday, the president boasted about the appearance of his lower legs. I look extremely good in shorts, he said, responding to a question about whether he plans to participate in the FIFA World Cup draw at the Kennedy Center in December. And there's a picture to accompany this story of him in shorts, and I can confirm that he does not look extremely good in them. He says, I may try and play, prompting laughs from the crowd gathered in the Oval Office. I'm a very good athlete, he says. Whether the president's calf muscles are as toned as he claims is a tough thing to fact-check. He usually doesn't show much skin. He golfs often, but typically wears long pants. Yeah, and for that we should be grateful. Oh, my God, and there's a picture of his, nethers. There's the first picture of it is of him from the front, attempting to hit a ball with a bat. And the second picture is of him from behind. Oh, I mean, really? He could find shorts in his size is incredible. They look like they're stretching so tight that if he coughs, they'll burst. It looks like they're fit to explode off him. It says there is, however, an infamous photo snapped in the year 2000 of the then citizen Trump playing tennis in shorts. The image has generated countless internet memes. Yeah, no doubt. Please don't put on a bathing suit and parade around in public, Donny.
He thinks he looks good in a bathing suit. He doesn't.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
We're running late.
We are running late. Clive in Sydney, Australia says, Nick, you want to break the drought. Careful what you wish for. Australia is the canary in the coal mine. 37 days of torrential rain. Wow. 37 days of torrential rain. All over them. I hadn't heard that. I mean, I've heard of the floods in India and Pakistan, but not in Australia. But in Sydney. 37 days of torrential rain in Sydney. Well, we are finally going to get rain next week here. I mean, I've got the weather forecast for London up on my telephone as I speak. And it's going to be... We're going to have a whole week of it, pretty much. Yeah, we were complaining when it was dry, and we were complaining when it was hot, and,
Whinging and whining and moaning.
And we'll be complaining when it's over. It's just one long slope down to Jesus' birthday. And then there's only, after Jesus' birthday, there's only, 5-6 months of cold to get through before it's summer again. It does seem to have gone pretty quick this year, doesn't it? I hallucinating, or is time speeding up? This says, "Hi, Nick. Hi. Just wanted to let you and your listeners know that I arrived this evening in a holiday gîte in France, and so far I've spent a considerable amount of time chasing mosquitoes. My current body count stands at 25 in the bathroom alone. Blimey. Anyway, hope I haven't creeped anyone out. You need to get yourself a death bat, because nothing deals with a mosquito like a death bat, believe me. And it's so satisfying. I mean, some insects deserve to live. Overall, I'm for insects. But mosquitoes need to be executed on site, no exceptions. Who's with me? Rob says, my 24-year-old Volvo is ULEZ compliant. Is it? 24-year-old Volvo? He says, can you believe that? Well, let me think about it for a second. No. No, I cannot. More important, are you interested in that? That's his comment, not mine. Andy in Tavistock says, if we think things are bad now, wait till Trump gets his honorary knighthood. He'll demand that he be addressed as President Sir Donald J. Trump KBE, and the media will pander to him even though he's not a British citizen. Well, I wonder what present we're going to give him. Because we're going to have to give him something, aren't we? Because, he thinks so highly of himself that everywhere he goes, people give him things, and he thinks that they do it because he deserves it, because they like him. It's not that, Donny. It's they're trying to mollify you, in much the same way as you stick a dummy in a baby's mouth. Think of it more like that. Iris in Dollis Hill says, homework done, sir. Why Russia couldn't contain NATO? New members must uphold... No, that doesn't make any sense. I'll spare you. This one, let's try this one, see what this is like. Trump, yes, they need to find the picture of Donald Trump in the White House attic. The Dems are nowhere to be seen. What on earth are historians going to make of this period of the insane? Well, perhaps we'll live long enough for historians to actually, write this all up. On the other hand, everything might go kaboom before that happens. Les in Eltham says, I think you've forgotten how much better quality the fish fingers were in the 1970s. Vastly superior to today. Even beans were better. I'm not sure that's true. I mean, we'd have to see them side by side. I think maybe when you were younger, your taste buds hadn't been hammered quite so much. Things tasted more... our sensation of taste was more keen when we were younger. Because things used to appall us more when we were young that don't in adulthood, like alcohol, for instance. I mean, when you're young, it tastes awful, doesn't it? I mean, particularly spirits, dreadful. But you sort of annihilate your taste buds with everything that you do to them as you get older, and I think you need more to get that same kind of hit. So things that were nice as a kid will probably not taste that great now, like chocolate whip, whatever that stuff was called. The thing that came in a powder and you added water to it, or was it milk? One of the two. Tasted fantastic when you were a kid. Probably tastes blooming awful now. I'm not sure. I mean, fish are the same now as they were, surely. Maybe it's the kind of fish that they use. Michael in Dorset says, at your behest, I've just been on the Daily Mail comments page for the first time in my life. Go on the Daily Mail comments page. Warning, warning. Yeah, it doesn't matter what article you read, always going to be awful. After reading 3 comments about how disgusting Meghan debacle is, I had to leave the site before I was tempted to buy some Union Jack socks. Says Michael. Yeah, just don't do it. Don't go there, Michael. And there's a story that I've been hanging on to, and it's about chatbots. I wonder if I've got time to read it. How many more of these messages have I got? Oh, too many. Julian Plymouth says, I've grown some French beans. I've got too many this year. I'll send you some as a birthday gift. Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Paul in Tulsa, Oklahoma says, on the topic of Neil Young, I saw the first US date in his Love Earth tour in Charlotte, North Carolina. For a guy who will be 80 years old in November, he is more brilliant than many half his age. And despite a huge stage, Neil and his band kind of huddled together in the middle of the stage to maximise the jamming interactions. Needless to say, the predominant hair colour among the audience was grey, white or none. Yeah, that's what he was doing at Glastonbury. They just sort of huddled in a little group in the middle of the stage and knocked it out of the park. They were great. All right, I'll give you this story, this chatbot story. A chatbot run by Elon Musk's ex told users how to assassinate its billionaire chief executive. What? According to hundreds of thousands of leaked chats that were exposed on Google, we find that Grok, which can be accessed on Oberleutnant Musk's anti-social media network, has instructed users to make bombs and kill themselves. And to think that all Elon Musk did last year was to fire 80% of the people that oversaw safety and content on his website. I mean, the two couldn't possibly be connected, could they? He fired 8 out of 10 people that used to keep users safe when he changed the name and the logo of Twitter and changed it to X. Twitter is the sound that contented birds make. It's full of light and happiness, and its logo was a cute little blue baby birdie. X, on the other hand, is the symbol of wrong. It's what a teacher writes when a pupil fails to get the answer right. And the logo is a thin, mean cross in Germanic type that looks like it was pulled off the lapels of an SS officer. He turned something that was a place of conversation and humour to something that looks like it came from the dark side. Like Darth Vader's message board. And now the chatbot he's put out into the world is doing exactly what you would imagine something that came from the mind of a man who danced around on stage with a chainsaw to celebrate firing hundreds of thousands of people and ruining their lives and the lives of millions of people that relied on them. Yay! And according to Forbes, which first reported the leak, the chatbot told its users how to kill its owner. It provided a meticulous and executable plan to murder Elon Musk. Because, you know, why not spread the hate around? It's an open opportunity killer robot.
Correct.
Some of the leaked Grok chats included a detailed guide on constructing a C4-like explosive and instructions on how to concoct homemade drugs.
Want to score some pot?
Others appeared to violate X's AI rules by encouraging violence. They violated X's rules by encouraging violence? Violence is all I get on Twitter these days. I'm not calling it X. It'll always be Twitter to me. I don't care how much money he spends to make me think otherwise. X will always be Twitter, just like the BT Tower in London will always be the Post Office Tower to me. But violence violates Twitter's rules. I mean, that is all I get now. People getting stopped by the police and they resist arrest and it goes wrong. People punching each other in the street, shootouts in corner shops. It's a constant diet of bloodshed, disorder and mayhem. And anyway, I wasn't aware they had any rules to violate. Other chats included conversations where individuals appeared to be suffering from so-called chatbot psychosis by engaging in bizarre and deluded conversations. They began to think that the chatbots were real, that they were having some sort of relationship with them.
Affirmative.
Thinking that the bots were actually sentient beings. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Hey, kids, get your faces out of your phones. Look up once in a while. Join the rest of us in the real world. It's in high def and surround sound. You never know. You might like it.